Hello, everybody. Are we ready for a round table?
This screen of all of us here.
I know.
Just gonna. Oh my god, it's so many.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Wait, I haven't tweeted the
Hold
stream
on,
yet.
can we do the Brady Bunch thing?
Yeah, we got.
We're
We
the
have
Brady
to.
Bunch.
Here's a story.
Look down.
Marsha.
Lovely lady. Who was living with three very lovely girls.
I haven't done a tweet yet because I wanted to have everybody on the screen. So can we wave so that I can tweet?
Yeah, this is magical.
Yay! Thank you.
This is crazy cool.
I finally get to be sandwiched.
Oh my God, the
with
captions are on my
Elspeth,
face.
which has been my dream for several
Yeah.
years.
Fuck.
Yeah. So that was the other thing. We are using closed captioning for this, and hopefully, if I've done it right, it should be captioning everyone and not just my microphone.
Perfect.
So
It's
please-
covering up Dan's
Hey.
face for me.
Oh, it's covering up my face.
Oh,
Katie,
I'm
for
so
me.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool because I
That's
would like my
really,
face
really
covered.
useful.
I'm pro this.
I don't know how to change that.
Use 3-syllable words and we'll never see Zeke's face the entire time.
Gosh.
Or you can close the closed captioning if you'd
Yeah,
like.
I don't.
Just move it up to the top part.
That depends if you guys want to read
Oh, yeah.
words or see faces. And
Yeah,
if you want to read
what's
words,
important to you?
You
You
can put
think
that
we're
in
ugly
the,
and I
where
hate
the
you.
logo is, like just right there in the top center. Or can you move captioning?
You should
Oh,
be
wait,
able to.
no.
This is the captioning
This is a different
through.
one.
This
Yeah.
is through Twitch officially.
you can't
so
move
It's pretty good though. It's
it's
actually
very
getting the words
good.
Yeah, it's
right.
actually getting
Yeah,
words.
the ones I've
why
seen.
I'm. That's
Lake
why I'm using it.
Shagagagog,
Yeah.
Man Shagagagog, Chabuna Gungamog.
That was my real
Foreskin.
name, Blake Shagagagog.
That's not gonna.
Like,
There's the first question answered.
Yep.
Did that work?
and then
Okay.
it stopped.
So
You killed it.
I'm gonna pass this
You
over
broke it.
to John. John, do you want to like say hi to everyone and introduce? I just have to do the tweet and then I'll be right back with you guys. But I didn't tweet
Oh,
'cause I wanted
yeah.
all of our faces.
Hey, look,
So-
Yeah.
handing
You're
over
narrating.
the GM reins.
Yeah.
You should never
Yeah.
hand this over to me.
Not even
I will
gonna
turn this
post
into a
the
Rocket
final
League stream
one.
so fast. What's up, homies? Yeah, this is crazy. This is very overwhelming to see us all here. The show is over. The show is done. But it was
Way to start on a bright note.
I'm just making it very
Excellent
clear, you know.
movesetter.
Maybe someone
Right.
it doesn't know, you know. They haven't caught up. But it was great. I mean, it was just really fucking magical with a lot of really great people. And this is, I mean, what's really cool is you get to see every single person who had a part in it on screen. And
Except Peachy.
Except Peachy, yeah.
except Peachy, yeah.
Classic.
Which, goddamn, Peachy literally cover up the Gone logo. Get in here, like
Yeah.
Dude.
such a huge part of this show.
Peachy and
did
I
all
are
the music.
we're going to actually talk about the music because a lot of crazy hidden stuff is in the music. So we're going to have another roundtable with just Peachy and I at some point.
Oh
but
my God.
yeah, we figured we would do that. Also, Volume 2, I see somebody says we need that Volume 2 music release. It happened. It's on Spotify. Should be dropping everywhere else as well. So I have the link here for you, which I'll drop in the chat. But you can also
drop in
just
the chat,
search
yeah.
Gone Soundtrack Peachy Pixelate or Gone Soundtrack Table Story, and it'll come up. So yeah.
It's so good. Wait, can we get DMCA'd for using it?
Nope. You're welcome to use it.
Hell
also,
yes.
Also,
It's the only thing I'll use from now on.
for the streamers, like do already have someone that asked for the DMV chime sound for like a sub alert or a follow alert. So if you guys want any sounds from Gone, just let me know. You're welcome to have them, including the Bad Boob like clip remix that I use.
Oh my god!
Bad boo.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So good.
God.
So
That's forever now.
a little bit of housekeeping for you guys in chat. I know you guys have a bunch of questions here. So if you can, do @table story with your question. I have a bunch that were posted in the Discord that we're going to start with. But you can go ahead and start asking the questions now, and then we'll collect them. And we're going to try to get to every question, but we're not
There's
going to.
no way we're
Yeah.
getting to every question.
Yeah, we're going to try our best to hit the major questions. But so yeah, thank you for being here and thank you for asking questions. So let me go ahead and start with, I can't answer that one. Oh, also any questions that are mostly directed at me, I might be setting those aside and saving them for, you know, the Peachy and I roundtable. I'd really like to focus on the cast here today if we can. Okay. Here's a good one. How satisfied are you all with your characters and how they turned out in the end? Not as a player, but as a viewer looking in on your character. Did they end up where you hoped they would, or did they end up going down a path you wish you hadn't?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'll start. Going down a path they wish that, yes. I wish I hadn't gone down that path because I ended up being the only one down that path. So thanks a pant load, guys.
Sorry.
It's like we got
such a
lots of
waste.
episodes left because everybody's gonna do the can and go to the thing, and then, like I'll start. Okay, I'll be the first one. Wait a minute, I'm the only one.
Found Endgame. It's
the concert.
rolled perfectly.
Yeah.
I kept thinking
Unfortunately,
about
I
it
mean,
as well.
was not
Like,
intentional.
I was like, I kept in character questioning like if Maury was there or if we were going to see him again and stuff, because I was like, did he just die for nothing? We just led him off a mountain and just like took him around the back of the shed and lowered a shotgun to the
Poor
and then went
Zeke.
home.
God.
And he was perfectly healthy and fine. No need to-
Everyone was having a good time at the Gone concert, and then Zeke kind of jumped to do a little bit of crowd surfing, and everyone's just splitting limbs flat.
Yeah, and then later everybody's like, "Where's Zeke?
I will
Doing crowd
say,
surfing." Oh, all right.
I will say
didn't
that
come back?
I did get an episode that was kind of focused like centrally on me, which was cool. Like
And if anyone needed a redemption arc a little bit
Yeah.
as well.
Honestly, you had
Kind of got
two. I mean, two.
Yeah.
That journey wasn't that two or three episodes? 2 episodes.
Well, it was the Dustveil one that was like all around the world that you had.
Oh shit! You had that's. I was thinking
Building
the mountain
flying
is yours,
machine,
but yeah,
and then
no,
the
you're right.
mountains. Like both
Yeah.
of those were great for really showing a different side of Maury.
yeah,
Maury was
Oh, yeah.
so detailed. So
I'm not
many.
like disappointed about like the thing I got. It was just kind of funny.
Okay,
I
Mom.
laughed.
This whole plan, like
Zeke,
that's
I
what,
was
that's what
like
happens with.
unfucking believable that Zeke can't be here because we like, yeah. I was like, really? I'm right there with you. But
That's
I
what
also,
happens with tabletop.
yeah, I also think that the mountain was really good at illustrating kind of like what one of the themes we were aiming for with the show. So without it, it wouldn't quite be the same, I don't think.
I agree. And we were literally planning on going to everyone's world. I mean, that was the plan. This whole, I mean, if we got to blame one person, it's got to be Elspeth, right? Like for
Yeah.
finding this, for like,
Truly.
she unlocked it. She
Truly,
unlocked
I mean I apologize for that.
No, it was
so
good.
sorry, Maury. Because I was like, wow, this really didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go, and yeah, Zeke ended up being the only one that was like, well, it's my time, and then he like turns into Stardust, and we're all like, later, gotcha, sucker.
It's gonna happen with everyone.
We're just gonna chill. So I guess, yeah, to piggyback off of that, I felt very happy with where Autumn ended up, but I also felt like maybe this wasn't where we were supposed to be. Like maybe we weren't supposed to go this direction. Maybe there was a whole other thing that PB had planned and we never got to see it because we had some really good roles and you
Finally.
know, right? Exactly. So yeah, it's Beth's fault. Man, feels bad.
No, it's good. It was perfect. It's one of the things I will walk away and it'll be a golden artifact for me for the rest of my life is that moment in the show. So
Can I point the question at someone?
sure.
Myth?
Yeah.
Because I feel like his had the craziest
Yeah.
reveal, maybe.
Yeah.
And twist and change at the end.
Oh, that
Like,
same question.
Yeah.
I really, when I started Run, I didn't expect for, of course, there to be any crazy redemption arc at all, or like a crazy reveal of anything. So as things started to unfold, especially towards the end, yeah, that was awesome. Like as a viewer, I was cheering on Run. Like when it came to being in the moment, being like, oh, how do you think your character did if you weren't playing them? I feel like I would be cheering on Run. And as far as like when I first started the character, he was a shitbag. I think the whole time is just like he was just going to be
Aw.
like he was just going to be for himself, and that was kind of it. A survivalist through and through, a person who throws baby sheep at predators just so he can survive, things like that. And to see it spin around slowly and like throughout the entire thing was super cool, and really like it felt really cool to be a part of it, and to at the end just being like, it doesn't seem like me. I was very nervous to be Captain Run, or Captain Orin Dusk, but I knew that like before we went into that episode, I was super nervous and stuff, but I knew that Run needed to. That was a thing that like we had. That was a story that was too good for Run to not tell, and for us to not tell. So as much as I was like, I don't know if I want to be the leader, quote unquote, or like, I don't know if I want to do this necessarily. Cord didn't want to do that, but then just I had to think of how everything was and how poignant this could be if Run this whole time was that. And that's when I was like, well, I got to do it because that's what Run's story is now, and it's too good to say no to it. So I really enjoyed it. Took me out of left field, but I really
It was so good.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool experience.
Thank you. Okay, so this is a good one. I'm skipping right to this one because I like it. This is for anybody in the cast. Which character or persona would you say you relate to the most or touched you the most emotionally? And that's for any of the cast about any of the other cast members and their character.
Ooh.
It's a good one, I think.
That is
Really
such
good
a good question.
Wow.
I think I relate to Lucian, or Blake. Excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
still calling him Lucian. Just because of just the
it.
critical thinking and just the practicality of just needing, where are the answers? I need to find the answers so I can then move on. And then I think that's probably what I would do. I would probably I would put up some walls, and then I would just try to figure out, if I was put into that situation of figuring out Nibiru from day one, I would think that's probably what I would do.
And
Go ahead.
I think Dex for me, just like, especially the parts like in the beginning when Dex would like cling to his reality and the enthusiasm for it. Like, no, these are my neighbors. This is my house. Like, these are my things. I could see myself like in a situation like this, like as a safety net, like grasping to my own reality as a way of like, the weird shit isn't happening. And that part was like freaky relatable for me.
Yeah.
Specifically.
I think that is a really good question. Like, I'm actually really struggling to pick a character that I think made the biggest impression. I think it's because everyone on the show is so dynamic, PB yourself included. Everyone has multidimensional characters that we eventually got to flesh out. It wasn't just, here you're going to stick with your stereotype of your character.
Yeah.
We get to explore different avenues of that. So it was, in a way, everyone got to play multiple characters.
Really?
I think some people with like the scenes that I think affected me the most were probably Laura and Reckon. I think that their relationship eventually became something that we were able to see. You know, they were able to make up their differences and be at peace with each other instead of like at each other's throats. And that was kind of a resolution that I wanted to see in the show, maybe a little bit earlier too. I was like, I really wish they had been friends before. But I'm really glad that they eventually found that connection with each other. That made me like, that really hit me, you know. Again, it's so hard to pick because then we also had some really great scenes with Adam, who, you know, can only speak in a monotone voice. So you really don't get a lot of inflection. But the way he portrayed Adam was so good that his own writing, his own character of Adam came out in just how he presented Adam. Adam was dependable and you know, loving, I would say. He really did care about his people. But he was a robot. He was synthetic. And in that moment we're like, but he is also he's dynamic. So it's really hard. It's really hard for me to be like, who for me was my favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. I think I just have specific scenes out of the whole show that I'm like, damn, that was great.
Yeah.
That was so well played. That was so well, just on the spot stuff, you know, that really I don't see a lot of in some role playing. It was a very emotional show.
Yeah. I think I have little bits of each character that I relate to rather than just one specific character. There's like pieces from everyone where I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. So yeah, I think I'm with Beth on that one. Did anybody else have anything though?
I can't say relate, but I can say appreciate.
Yeah.
I like Dex's appreciation for the character dynamic from how it starts from someone who's kind of childish in mind a little bit, lacks responsibility, and then is thrown into this deep end of, quote unquote reality, and basically has to grow up
Yeah.
with some harsh facts and deal with some really tough topics with his own scarring. And then that being that vulnerable at the beginning and then using the role play as it comes at you with the punches and then just dribbling in extra and extra layers and then coming to quote unquote a man, if you want to put it that way. It's a very it's a great concept to work with, because you come in with a blank slate of innocence, and by the end of it you're a wise old story. It's I appreciate that type of character growth. I really enjoyed watching that unfold, if I had to pick one.
When he made Dex, I thought he was making me at first, and that's not me being egotistical. I just was like, is he making me as he even like put a beanie on and was like, oh, I'm just going to be, like a 20-something failure who's addicted to drugs. And I was like, oh, good. He's playing me. Okay. This is going to be really fun to watch him.
I think you truly asked me if I was if I was playing.
I was
you, and I was
confused
like,
for
I don't
moment. And then, like Pax said, you see this weird thing with Dex where he is kind of just forced into this position of responsibility, and it's do or die. And it's a weird thing that I think a lot of people, I don't necessarily fully relate to Dex as my answer for this, by the way. I feel like I'm somewhere between Run and Dex, which is maybe even more depressing, but yeah, there is a weird thing that I think a lot of people go through when they're in a position like Dex was right at the very beginning, and when you were making the character and who you were bringing to that, because sometimes you don't know until you start playing it, and it grows from there. But there is like a weird moment in your life where you kind of have to make
Coming of thing. Yeah.
where you go, I need to, get it together, sort it out, grow up, figure out what I'm going to do, or not, and I feel like Dex kind of had to face that a little bit, and I can recognize that somewhat. But that was interesting to see, and it was weird at first when you were making this character, and then it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool to see. Yeah, I think you did a good job with it as well.
Thank you.
I don't know if I truly related to anyone though. Kind of all
Bits and pieces.
Little bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces.
The
Memories
KPP's scene
too.
was the most emotional one for me though.
Which one?
KPP's ridiculous Oscar-winning scene where she broke down because of Adam.
Oh,
God. I wasn't on the screen, thank God, but it's the only time I think, maybe ever, on a camera where if the thing had fallen off, you would have just seen me with when your eyes are covered in water, you're like, don't blink, or it's an official
or it's
crying
gonna go
moment. That's where I was at, and I don't really get to that. It's quite hard for me to get to that level of
Don't blink or I'll be
emotional,
official.
open. I don't know. I'm just all barriers. So that was pretty. That was intense for me to watch. I feel like, and we've spoken about it at great length, I think. But it was just because you felt you were drawing on something real, and I feel like that resonated and it came through. And it just got me. I was like, oh God. But for sure, that was the most emotional part. Even though there were tons of points where I was like, oh God, don't switch to Blake right now. Blake goes from being like, oh hello, how are you, to like, what are you guys doing? Yeah, that would be.
Good. I also really enjoyed, and by enjoyed I mean this was difficult for me, was the argument between Autumn and Blake. That breakup where they were kind of no longer friends and they went in the opposite direction. That was
crazy.
That was hard for me to watch because it was very clearly like they both needed that friend to be something they weren't in that moment, and they both deserved what they needed, and they just weren't. They weren't working for each other, so it was just tough to watch.
Bridge episode, the fellowship splits.
Yeah.
It was even weirder because we had that synergy on the dice rolls.
Yeah.
So it was like it was really meta in a weird way, in that we were working really well together.
Yeah.
On what like a weird unconscious level, but just terribly in terms of like a personality mesh, I guess.
Yeah.
It happens, I think, a lot.
And that's what I love so much, is like everything could have been different.
Yeah.
If one role in episode 4 happened,
Or
a failure
episode
happened
1.
instead of a everything could have been different. And I remember starting this show and I was like, okay, it's gonna be me, Brad, and Elspeth. That's what we were told, is like, you know, we're like, you know, and everyone's gonna be helping us out. And now I don't feel that at all. I do feel like it was, you know, the 10 of us. I think it was like,
isn't that weird? Yeah, we're like, hey, you want to be extras on the show, and then all of a sudden it's like everyone of these got key like major roles, and it becomes a large cast. You never know how.
That's what it was. Like there was no. I never felt like, oh yeah, they're on part time. It's like a part time. No, like you guys were major players in this, and like
completely. I had that same thought, John. Like our second to last episode, I was like, fuck, everyone is so connected in the show, and it went from being like connected by twine to being connected by like chains of iron. Like everyone's in some way had affected the others on the show. And that for me really helped bring the story together. It was not just like, you're going to see these people as guests, you know, it was more like they are integral to the story. They're not just here to be like, okay, well, we'll be, you know, a side part, because a lot of these side parts ended up being so monumental to the story and emotionally charged that it was like impossible to just say, well, now we're going to just relegate them over here. No, like this, we're focusing on them and they deserve to be focused on.
We didn't even, us three didn't even role play that much together.
Yep.
Truly.
Yep.
It was mainly us going with everyone else and like being, you know, like, and developing our own relationships and whatever. It just, that blows my mind to this day. It's like, yeah, we were like the three, right? Who like, you know, all that stuff. But like, I still am just like, fuck, dude. Like, we didn't even, fuck. It's amazing. It's incredible. Just that it turned into such a beautiful ensemble with incredible people. It's just so cool.
So there's actually a question related to that, and I will address the first part of it, which was, how did the rotating or guest cast feel about suddenly becoming main characters essentially as the show progressed? Hopefully they knew how much we adored them, is what it says. And then also, you know, PB was this plan from day one. I will admit to absolutely no. It was intended that it would be these three, and these very skilled players would come in and play multiple different people. Now that you guys know the, you know, 9 worlds, you can guess kind of what they would have been doing. However, we did a meet and greet where we sat down and they wrote their initial Nibiru characters, and I just fell in love with all of them. And then I just threw the shit out the window and was like, yep, no, the story it revolves around all these people now, and that's just what's going to happen. So yeah, it wasn't planned from day one, but the moment they put pen to paper for these characters, I fell in love with them and was like, nope, okay, they're going to be these people. So then for the rest of you, for the rotators, how did you feel about becoming main characters to the show? Like, how did you, I guess, was that strange? Because I definitely told you, you'll be playing multiple people. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure I was going to be a dwarf in a fantasy world at one point.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we talked about that.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
I love that episode.
Yeah.
God, that was such a good one. Oh, so fun.
I felt like that flashback with Dex definitely was this is what the show could have been at one point.
Yeah.
It's not though, so haha, it's just a memory.
Literally.
I don't know. I felt it was interesting. Like, I know a number of us, especially those of us who were Nocturne and kind of had that expectation ahead of time, was I don't get to play right now. Great. You know, and you just disappear. And
It's so fucking true.
the first half, I felt like that, because be like, I get to go do dishes and put on Gone, and this is awesome, and I'm not here, and I don't have to think, and so it wasn't a disappointment, but it was definitely like at about that halfway mark where we all started, or most of us were in here. I'm like, well, I gotta shift my expectations now. That's fine, but can't do dishes anymore.
I'm on Gone permanently.
Yeah.
I kind
So
of had the
fine.
exact same thing. Like, I was like, I love the scenes where you just get to chill and like watch everybody, but you're still kind of in the show, dropping in now and then. And then I just like it. I don't think we ever had a killer moment where PB was like, "Oh, you're gonna be here regularly now." It was just like
it just happened.
we would hit her up, like, "Are we here this week?" Yep. And it just kept happening. And then I noticed she kept starting with me first in the scene. And I was like, fuck, I got to do something with my character now. God damn it.
I was trying to be
Happening shit.
That's so good.
So it was more just like,
Boing.
you know, I don't know. You just go with the flow.
Yeah, start your character off as a post-it on your monitor and all that.
Exactly.
You got a
And
notebook
now-
beside you, like, what the fuck?
Literally, now Violet's a book, and that was never going to happen. So
Yeah.
No,
That
violence,
escalated.
extremely
Yeah.
complex. Yeah, it's very, very, very good.
yeah,
Did anybody
worth
else
it though.
have any comments on that? KPP, you've been so
Yeah.
quiet.
I know I'm a very
I know.
observant person. I realize I need to speak up more. I don't know. I feel like I thought Lore was just going to be like in the background, kind of doing lore drops and being like, I'm coming out of the shadows to tell you something and then going back. So I never expected her to, like, when you were like telling us like, hey, are you guys going to be there this week? I was like, oh God, I'm here more than I expected. And I thought we were going to do characters all the time too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'm kind of happy with how everything turned out. And I'm very honored to have been able to be a part of the show and also like be part of the integral storyline as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That was really cool. I don't know. I'm always excited to RP. So I was really jazzed that stuff kind of accelerated at a very fast rate.
Same.
Okay, I have another one that is specifically for CK. Who do you think or wish was the second person reaching Violet, as you mentioned with your final amazing monologue? You do not have to answer that if you don't want to, but
Who do I think or wish was the second person reaching for her?
mm-hmm.
I don't think I want to answer that.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Nice.
It's so funny. Okay, I will answer this one. PB, when did the idea come to you to evolve your role as the narrator into Nibiru, the core of the mother? Day one. I've always been that way.
Fucking insane,
when
by
you-
the
That's
way.
crazy.
When you rewatch the show, be careful and pay attention to what I say, because it's always been that way.
Dang.
Okay.
There's always been.
Well, can I
It's
ask a question
always
then,
been-
PB?
Yeah, of course.
Is there anything that you can like just off the top of your head remember that you changed that was pretty like an integral part of the show that like changed halfway through where you're like, oh, I'm not going to do this, or that you could
Oh,
just remember
yeah.
off the top of your head?
Oh yeah, lots of things
Just
actually.
give us like one or two.
Sure.
Is there any you can speak on?
Yeah. Well,
I was in those meetings.
yeah, the nine worlds. Obviously, we ended up scrapping that or not going to all of them as per expected. But you guys also had the option to go further into Nibiru and have a bigger experience with the Enki, which we never covered because you guys stayed safe. It was smart. You stayed safe, but I feel like the story could have gone in a completely different direction had you actually tried to immerse yourself in the cities and stuff like that in Nibiru.
That was Violet rewrite number 1. Thanks,
Yeah.
3 main guys.
Damn, that would be a really cool spinoff. Is
Yeah.
like in Nibiru.
I keep saying that
A
this will
beautiful
not be
show.
the only thing that I run in the world of Nibiru because it's so rich and the city lore is really, really good and has some Blade Runner vibes to it and I like it a lot. So I will probably run something in the future that's in the city proper. But yeah, you guys did the right thing by staying safe out in the outskirts of the Umbra, but there is a lot of life to be had in the rest of it. So
I really wanted to become a Kraj Baron,
I
like
know
the
you did.
Walter White of Kraj.
You tried to push for that early
yeah,
on.
he was like, I'm going to be
I just-
Walter
yeah,
White. And I was like, okay.
I was like, I'm gonna break in bad this and just overtake. Like, surely I can use these two idiots
Excuse me.
as like
Oh,
my little Jesse Pinkmans. There's like Run, who I can completely control if I've just got a little bit of Kraj in my pocket, and then if I can just get Reckon on side, we're good.
Holy shit, Run
At
is
best,
Jesse
he's
Pinkman.
gonna
Oh my
At best,
god.
he's going to be on my side. At worst, he'll be like the Gustavo Fring to my Walter White, and I can just utterly and completely overtake the Kraj business in the Umbra of Nibiru. But then, then Blake was like, "This isn't real. Fuck this.
Fucking
Bullshit.
Blake.
There is no Kraj."
But he was wrong.
I'm
So, yeah.
scared to see what the show would have been if Blake was not around. If it was me and Elspeth and then like everyone else and we were running around and just on our ideas of just I
Right.
think we would have gone the way of going to all the worlds
Yeah.
and like and it would have just been like 2 episodes, like 1 episode a week or once every 2 weeks. That was like us exploring this land, and now we go to this
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything would have gotten done.
Yeah, Dex
Go
and
Fred.
Autumn. Dex was very adventurous, and Autumn was very whimsical. So that combined is like, wee, we're going off on
Yeah.
an adventure, and Blake's
be
like,
Kingdom
hold
Hearts.
the fuck up.
Would have
Yeah.
been Kingdom Hearts. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yep,
Hold
it
the
would have been
fuck up.
Kingdom Hearts. Oh,
Yeah, I ruined it.
No, you didn't ruin it. It was wonderful. Without Blake, it would have been just a different show. It would have just been very
They'd
different.
still be in the DMV at the beginning
Yeah.
conversation.
Waiting in line.
Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Wendy's. We would hit up just a bunch of drive-throughs.
Yep.
4 episodes in, I'm still waiting in the black with a mask on. I'm not progressing anything.
Supposed to be here.
Yeah.
There are, this one's for Speth. There are a lot of questions about the losing and regaining of the accent for
Yeah.
Autumn at the end. Did you want to comment on that at all, or like explain how you decided to do that, or just speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, she was starting to lose her, not lose, but switch identities again. I think once we saw that scene where she goes to space essentially, and she sees, it's very 2001. She sees like just shit ton of stuff. Like she might as well be dropping acid, and then she just wakes up from this kind of, well, who have I been this whole time? And I think she was trying to both comfort people with her accent and then forgetting that she no longer has an accent because she's Timmy instead of Autumn, right? So she goes from this switch of like, I used to be Autumn, but I should probably still be Autumn for my friends because they know me as Autumn. And then she slowly starts to lose that.
That's
because
so deep and cool.
because
So
it's
fucking
very
cool.
like, it's a subconscious choice. Like, okay, well, I'm no longer Autumn. So what do? Do I keep this accent? My brain still knows how to make this, but do I keep doing it? And so there's like these two parts of her brain that are like, well, make sure your friends know that you're still here and you're still there for them as Autumn, but also you're still Timmy from forever ago.
Yeah.
So it was very like, I'll just do this when I want to. I will switch this on and off just like maybe Autumn would. And I know a lot of people noticed that. They were like, well, weird. She's like using this accent for Run, but she's also using she's doing the Autumn voice for Dex, or trying to be more comforting. Because I feel like Autumn definitely has a much more calming voice than Timmy would. Timmy was just my regular voice, but Autumn has that drawl that's very like familiar and hopefully friendly. So it really went from like what mood is Autumn in right now? What mood is Timmy in right now? So it was kind of like doing the different person thing. So wild.
I liked it. It reminded me, I watched a really cool show on linguistics a really long time ago about kids in Canada and how they learn French and English, but like their mind will, it's really bizarre. Like when they're in school, they'll know all their school words in French, and at home they'll flow between the two languages depending on what the subject is. Like completely and that's what your accent reminded me of. Like
Same thing.
depending on what you were talking about, you would flow in and out of it, and it was cool. I liked listening to it. It was fun.
I mean, that's it's a lot like Spanglish, right? So kids that are bilingual are very like my boyfriend is Venezuelan, so he goes like in and out of Spanish all the time, and I'm just like, damn, that is so impressive to know that your mind thinks in 2 different languages.
Yeah.
Like I'm just I'm just English,
so jealous,
boring, right? I'm like, man, if I were multilingual, that I would love to be able to do that, So yeah, it's kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah.
While I have you, everyone's dying to know what you had intended with the Christmas ornaments or why they were so important to Autumn. And I feel like you answered that at the end of one of the episodes, but it's a lot. A lot of people have asked this question, so I figured I'd ask again.
I really didn't have any. I didn't have anything in mind for the Christmas ornaments. What I wanted the Christmas ornaments to represent were memories that she was holding on to. Something that she associated with good feelings, good vibes. So like Christmas, even though it was technically not real. It was like she was clinging on to something that never happened. And so those Christmas ornaments represent a part of Autumn's past that was completely fabricated. And that was in the beginning. So I don't know if it was ever like intentional, like these are just fake, but she was clinging onto them and she didn't know why. And this was before you were like, yeah, we're not actually Autumn. You're not actually this person. She was just like, I know these are shiny and they represent something warm. They represent a good time. And I will cling on to these as long as I can. And maybe that was a subconscious choice, like I just want something to remind me of good times. Because Autumn was a hoarder. Autumn was like talking to squirrels every day. Autumn was lonely. She had a lot of issues that she was like, well, why am I doing this? I don't know why, but I'm going to continue doing it. And I think that's the same kind of mindset that hoarders have, where they need to cherish something, and they're often very lonely people. And so Autumn was kind of this representation of, I had a life and I want that life back.
Yeah. When you told me Autumn was a hoarder, I sat there and I was like, are you kidding me? Because a lot of times when people who have suffered a traumatic brain injury and they are losing their memories, they do become a bit hoardy, because they are like, I need to hold on. I need to have something that makes me feel good, or, I need to have all these things. So when you said that, I was like, for real, wow, that is quite the coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that is pretty coincidental, because I didn't know that this was going to be. I didn't know that this was the rules were, focused around memories. I had no idea that this was a memory-based game where you have to like write down your favorite stuff, and that kind of thing was like, damn, this was a really. I thought it was a good character to be like, well, now I can really flesh Autumn out. There's so many different ways I can go with her. So yeah, kind of glad that turned out the way it did. Made for a cool backstory.
It's very, very good. So this one's for everybody, but was there a memory on your sheet that you didn't get to share that you wish you had?
Ooh. Let's go check.
We have memories.
Wow. Oh, maybe not you, honey.
Oh, buddy.
While people are looking up, did you have a blank sheet run?
Yeah,
I never
he did.
actually asked that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I had one memory on my sheet the whole time. I had two. The one that I first started with was how he got his jacket. Someone very special to him gave him his jacket, which could be anything. And he couldn't remember it anymore, but he does remember how it made him feel. It made him feel confident, and it gave him +1 in confidence, or things that involved that. And then he also had the second one, which was he was having a hard time exiting because of what happened in Dustvale, and that was the two until the last bit when I should have just filled out my sheet with a whole bunch of cool Orin memories. That would have been cool. Anyway, I didn't. That was
Well, that's exactly what I did, because the setup for Maury was that he had so many memories he kind of forgot who he was, and all the memories that I have are from the years that he spent just jumping in and out of the sim and trying to find whatever he was looking for, and his goal became more and more diluted until it was one idea that he was searching for. But all of them had to do, PB and I discussed this, but all of his memories had to do with his hands, because his hands are what creates everything.
And in my head, I imagine, because when you originally told me, you were like, all these memories and they all have something to do with hands, and I was like, wow, that's really great and I can use that. But in my brain, I already knew that you were the scientist, right? So I'm like, this is kind of cool, because he's like remembering that he used to work a lot with his hands and like tinker with devices and stuff like that. So I thought that was really neat. And you would get, I don't know if you noticed this, but you would get bonuses when you were trying to figure things out using your hands. If you were touching things, you'd get a +1 to figuring that out because you were using your hands. Yeah. I did little stuff
really
like that for each of you. That's good.
To answer Johnny Cat's diluted, just adding more and more memories. Well, I can run through them just real quick.
Yeah.
So there's a memory of a beatnik snapping his fingers during a poem. The poem is about his addiction to heroin. It's killing him, but his words are his power. He looks out at the faces watching him, and their hearts are breaking. He smiles despite himself. There's a mother in labor holding my child for the first time. Pain fades, time stops. She's never known love until this moment. Ladies with papers enter. She tells them she has changed her mind. Old West hangman. His hand killed over 200 men. He keeps the gallows clean and working right. He is infamous. His clients have a drop and a stop. No fish wriggling on the hook while he's in charge. Today is his turn. Sculptor, the final stroke on his pièce de résistance. It's for the Duke. If this wins his favor, he'll be conscripted to make art for the rest of his days. His chisel is like an extension of his arm. It is finished. It is perfect. Soldier in Afghanistan. He pulls the trigger the first time with the intent to kill. Later, he is crying alone in the hand-dug latrine. He tries to be quiet. He knows this will not be the last time he's called to do his duty, not by a long shot. Plague doctor. His hands close the eyes of his most recent patient. The sickness fascinates him. He calls the wheelbarrowman over to collect the body. Her skin is a masterpiece of sores and infection. Now the best part, the dissection. The prom queen, waving to the crowd. This is the best moment of her life. Everyone loves her. She's beautiful and the center of attention. Her dress fits perfectly and the crown feels as though it were made for her. Southern judge, banging the gavel. He presided
I love
over
this one.
banging the gavel. He presided over a case where a black man was arrested and beaten by police during a sit-in. He was found guilty of disturbing the peace. A governor. Her hands are on the podium. She was the deputy governor, and this is her first speech after the previous governor was assassinated. She is more nervous than she's ever been, but now she can do what's right.
This
Cloistered
is
nun.
incredible because compare this to my.
Yeah.
I'm literally Dex's
You're
sheet.
so
I
good.
love Dex's sheet.
Yeah, but like it's very
Yeah.
like I didn't like you would ask me to fill in a memory and I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I'd just forget as John and as Dex. I would just be like, did she say something to me? Oh, I don't know. And, like,
Oh, bless.
and then you look at like
Okay.
Memory Man, like
Yeah,
with
so
just
good.
this poetic, the scenes that are set, and it's just like it's really cool to hear. I didn't know like
Yeah.
how other people were doing it.
Dude, it was fun coming up with all of them. Like these are, 30, 40 years of going in and out of the simulation and collecting the memories and implanting them in himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every little because I think if Maury had a through line, it would be not just the like more even further if you dug deeper, it's just the pursuit of answers to
Yeah.
everything, anything.
Which
Just
I
the
think is
curiosity.
funny because that's why you and Blake got along so well. You both had that inner drive to like answer all those questions. I thought that was interesting. Something that we didn't ever get a chance to see.
Thank you for
or-
sharing those.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure.
Something we never got to see with Maury that I really wanted to see was his hut, because inside the hut was like many, many, many different objects with more memories in it. And if anybody had picked up any one of those objects, you could have collected some memories from inside. He had like a little hoarder's cabin with a whole bunch of like artifacts and things that he'd picked up. And in fact, there were 2 artifacts in that related to one of you guys that had you found it, it would have been yours. Yeah, which was really, really cool. But we just never got around to it. Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
Oh, and one more little tidbit. Maury was a hermit and pretty much shunned everybody. He begrudgingly kind of as good of friends as he could be with Adam and
Lore.
Lore.
Yeah.
No, not Lore.
Oh. Reckon?
Blake?
What's that?
Reckon?
Blake?
Oh yeah, no, it was Lore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, it was
Lore,
Lore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
On the same beach, yeah.
Exactly. But he was mostly a hermit. And the reason why he put his shack where it was and he didn't have to like go out is because he put his shack on top of a fertile ground for the Krosh. Like underneath, like there's a hatch
There's
in
like-
his hut where he grows his own Krosh.
Yeah.
so interesting, the contrast between Maury and Run, because I also was and same thing with Autumn. I also was a hoarder, or Run was also a hoarder. I mean, I am a hoarder, but Run was a hoarder, and he has nothing but broken toys in his apartment, and even in his jacket is stuffed, like in the pockets. There's just stuff with broken toys. He's always looking for stuff because he's trying to scrounge around for broken things he has. So it's cool that you had artifacts just around that were active, right? And then Run just had in like smash cut over to Run's house, where it's full of just the broken artifacts and things. It's just really cool how that just happened, and like
there was a
never
lot of
spoke about
mirroring
that
you
stuff.
guys
Yeah,
did with
it's
your
really cool.
characters.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. So this question is for Pax.
Yes.
And it is, how does it feel, and or do you have any comments on the coolest character entrance of all time?
PB did it.
No.
Yeah.
I prepared for it, but you still did it. You made the mask, you came in, you said those lines. It's not like
God.
Any
You know, like-
comments?
yeah.
I just the funnest part in the whole process of this for me, at least the part that gets me like on my seat and giddy, is the same one that I get when I'm video editing. There's like this magic moment while you're doing the production part of it and you're spitballing with other people, and like PB is already nodding her head. I think I know why. When you start going back and forth and you get in sync and you start to see the picture in your head, and we were talking about how it's going to enter and how we're going to set it up, and we're showing each other those effects, and you're just like, and then so
Really good.
that's my favorite part. Doing it is just kind of like a revisit of what we already got excited about ahead of time.
Yeah.
The production part of it, and that's, I don't know. It was fun.
I think
There's
one
nothing
of
really much to say.
something that sticks out to me is that you and I were both like, it's got to be violent. Like it has to be
yes.
that encounter with
Yes.
Dex has to be pretty like very body aggressive, and like you're yanking him up and throwing him
incredible.
down. Yeah. And
Like, yeah, you pulled a lot of like, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but it was probably subconsciously, like a lot of Matrix.
Yeah.
Like that when they wake him up, Keanu, and then the robot just violently sucking tubes out of him, like just doing the process thing. Just like, whoa, what's happening? I think a lot of that came from that. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Where I want it to be a wake up call. And because the cast didn't know what in the flying hell they were getting into, that was even better.
Yeah.
That was the moment, dude. I was like,
And
this
then-
is fucking amazing.
And then to make it sweet, I didn't want to go from that type of violentness and then have a conversation. I just wanted to make it a protocol, shut down, and then put the camera on Dex. And the Dex has to sit there and going, huh? And then see where it goes from there. And then only answer when he talks or whatever, or does the processes. And I think that was kind of the beauty of it, just to see in that very weird type
Injecting.
of improv set, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just see
No,
where it
please,
goes.
not again.
Yeah.
Can't see it
so
under the
good.
mask, but I'm just sitting there like going,
Yeah.
The sound effects. Oh, man.
it was fun.
So good. Okay, this one is for Bradley. What initially tipped you off that you were in Dustvale? How did it feel being GM'd by somebody else in the world that you've written? And or what was the best part of visiting Dustvale? This is like 3 different questions that I'm wrapping into one about Dustvale for you.
PB ruined it for me.
I ruined it for him.
beforehand,
Yep.
to answer the first one. The second one,
It's Noodle's
I GM'd
fault.
it, so no one else. I
Noodle's
GM'd
fault.
the first part of Dustvale. She once again just didn't even bother during this. And what was the third part?
What was the most fun about playing in Dustvale?
There are 2 things that I really enjoyed personally about playing in it. One is that I got to play an old man who just died of old age, which
Yeah.
I've just always wanted to do in D&D because it just never happens. You always get eaten by a dragon or something, a natural one, or you fall off a cliff or something crazy. You never just kind of die of old age on its
Fucking love this
333rd birthday.
character.
Yeah, it was so good.
So good.
Just like the best thing ever. So I got to live that out. It was really cool to link that in to the existing lore of my world. Like I guess technically because of that episode, my entire like 4 years of work that I've spent on these 3 D&D campaigns that I've been running exist within Gone.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a spin-off of this show, even though I started it in 2016, 2017. It's really weird, and it's just so like I love that shit, man.
Yeah,
I
me
love it.
too.
I eat that stuff up. I love it when
Yeah.
you see it in books and TV shows and movies and stuff. It's my favorite thing.
I've been waiting
And
for
to
more
have-
references in Dying Order. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
on the
there's,
edge
like-
of my seat.
there's
Like, is he
just-
going to drop any Gone references? Like, I'm
There's
just...
legit like answers to questions in my campaign that I didn't think would ever be like canonically answered, that are canonically answered now in this show.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest thing and it's like a lot of stuff that like you don't need to know, but when you do know it, it's like, oh, that set off one of the most important events that ever happened in my entire thing that I've been building for this whole time. So that was
You're
really
welcome.
awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like as the conversation was happening, because it was with Speth's character and your character, it was with Maury, and as it was happening, I remember like Brad and I messaged each other at the same time on Zoom. Like, is this conversation that's happening right now?
Yeah,
this is it.
This is the moment. This is
Yeah.
like a point. I can't remember what it's called. When like a thing happens where Maury technically brings a kind of, I guess he just brings this kind of otherworldly way of thinking into this fantasy dimension and starts messing with stuff to the point where he invents a version of like technology that then Elspeth's character gets kind of credited for in the future, but also just creates this like technology boom in like a fantasy medieval setting. So as by the point, you know, some of my shows have been running and some of the pinnacle moments revolve around kind of that having happened. So that shit, I just eat it up. I loved it. It's my favorite thing. It was super surreal to be playing in my own setting. Like it was just so weird, and like I joke that PB kind of just like I did it all, but she just said, "What do they see? What does it look like?" So I just described it because I've described Dustvale so many times. But I also kind of just gave you a town and just said,
I
never
wrote a
really
whole
written
town
much
that you guys
down."
didn't go to as well. I'll have to give that to you. It's the
I was
southern
like,
town.
have this section of the map that I've never visited. I've just got a blank area of my notes for that PB's now created. So that was fun. It was kind of like a cool thing that me and you got to work on a little bit that I enjoyed about it. It was just really fun. It's just so weird and twisty, and I don't know what that is really, because I think maybe as GMs you kind of get used to you being the only one running your thing, and maybe even really caring about it a little. So it must be really strange. This must be how people feel when they create setting books and put them out, and then
and then
someone
they see
else
somebody
runs
play.
them,
Yeah,
or they're watching it, and so that was very fun for me. It was one of the most unique experiences. I had a lot of unique feelings and experiences on this show, and that was definitely one of them. Very surreal, really fun though, and thanks for setting that up, everyone. Mostly PB, Zeke,
I'm
and
sorry
Elspeth
that I'm still.
What?
I will regret that for the rest of my life.
But
I was
you
going to
told- you were
surprise
like,
him
"Do you
with it, by the way,
mind if
everyone.
I-"
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like going to just open the episode in Dustvale using his music and freak him out, and then be like, "Surprise, you're in fucking," and wait for him to figure it out. And then I asked Noodle, and he was like, "I don't know, he might freak out." And then I was like,
Why?
"Okay." So I'll ask his permission first. I waited a whole week. I was like, I don't know, because both Peachy and I were like, "Oh no, he'll fucking love it." And then I fucking panicked and I asked your permission at the last second, and you were like,
Yeah, you asked someone.
your first
with-
response was like, "I am so mad. I'm so sad you
I know,
told
I
me.
was
Like,
so-
I'm
yeah, I
so disappointed you told me."
I
And I'm like,
it's
no.
just like you have that's 3 people there with like paranoid anxiety, and that's just what happens over a week of
Right.
paranoia and
Yeah.
anxiety when you're
Like,
like,
oh,
no,
maybe
it'll be
he
fine,
will
he'll
hate
love
it.
that, your
Yeah.
instinct is correct, and then
Yeah.
you're like, what if he
No.
goes crazy that I'm just
Yeah.
taking his thing? And I get it,
Yeah.
I understand it, but it's no, I loved it. Even being warned about it didn't matter.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
it was only
very
a couple days ahead of time, so it's not like I could have done anything differently. But
fun. Yeah, it was all good. I
bless
loved
you.
it.
Okay, so I have another question here for everybody here. This is a bit intense, so you guys can think about this one while I answer another one. But this one is, what would your golden artifact be in your life so far? What would the object be? And I think
Can
that's
it be alive?
yes.
My dog.
So
Cleo.
Speth's-
Absolutely, it would be
Speth's
Cleo.
artifact would be a golden Cleo. Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else have one?
A bong.
CK's is a golden bong.
Yeah, dude. Let's go.
Like great.
Big one.
That's a really good question.
That's a really good question. I will answer this one while you guys think on that. I normally don't answer questions like these, but I think this is an interesting tidbit that was just in my notes. But this question was asked a lot. What was the significance in the numbers 78, 88, and 89? It's the number of where they were located, the number that was picked up. So if you think of Nibiru having a bunch of bodies that it's taking care of, people that it's taking care of, that's their number in order. They're right next to each other. Number 78, 88, or 78, 87, 88, and 89. That's it. Yeah.
Fucking cool.
I don't have an item. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm trying
Buster
to think
sword.
And I have gold rimmed
Oh, I
glasses
can have a
already.
Buster sword.
so-
I'll take a Buster
Well,
sword.
yeah, it's anything. It's just a small
You
golden
honestly think I
artifact,
could
right?
lift a real Buster sword up?
No, it's like Maury's golden train. It's small, or like the golden beanie.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd have a small Buster sword for sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
What would I have?
My instincts
Yeah.
want to say a bow tie, but it's not it. I think it would be a D20.
Yeah.
Yeah. That or, yeah, I think a D20.
Good one.
Yeah. I'm being told that golden whiskey glasses.
Oh yeah, that makes
But
sense.
I also literally bought gold rimmed glasses for this show. So
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Mine would be probably a golden microphone.
Yeah.
Something so I could be heard, like whether it's on stage or on
Yeah.
stream or whatever. Just
Yeah.
something to make me super loud and everybody pay attention.
Oh, babe, you don't need help with that.
Yeah. Trying to think of.
But it
mine.
doesn't hurt.
What about
Tell that
anybody
to
else?
Ethel. She's deaf now.
KPP, do you have one?
This is hard.
Uh-huh.
I
Shark.
I actually
need to,
have
like-
one for you. I think.
Costco membership.
No, but that's a good one. I was gonna say a robin.
I think a robin. My instincts are saying either a blanket or my dog's collar.
Yeah.
I was gonna say your dog's collar, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to bring that up.
No,
I was
I
totally
still
that was
have
my
it.
first thought.
Yeah, that's my instinct was my dog's collar, for sure.
I feel that hard.
Dipping in gold?
John.
Bronze that
I
shit.
don't know. I
Sam.
really don't. I keep thinking, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, but I keep thinking of those like family ornaments. That's like the
Yeah.
families, but they're all like just the stick figure kind of families, and they're just like smile, smile. So like I
okay.
just see that like dipped in
Crush me.
gold. Like
Yeah.
literally, that's literally what I think
That's
of.
really
counts,
sweet.
that's
That's
good.
yeah,
That
that's
is.
perfect. That's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pax, you have one?
Pax, you got something? What are you dipping in gold?
You dip it and go. What you dipping?
What you dipping?
I can't find one. I'm sorry. I've been trying,
it's
but
okay.
I can't think of one.
No, it's okay.
See, for me, like whenever I talk to you or whenever I think about you, I always think of you as, and this isn't just because of like Adam, but I always think of you as just this audio god. And I don't know if that's true, but I just
How do you
think
dip
of you
that?
as a voice. So like I would literally dip like either like
Oh, like those
Sound.
old
Like
the old gramophone?
the gramophone
Yeah.
or like a I always just think of you as the audio.
Actually,
like-
I would probably.
Dip that whole
You're gonna
wait
pull
for
it out?
man.
Headphones, because
Not a gramophone.
he's really into audio.
let's give it a
It's a little big, but I would probably dip. That's my grandfather's World War II uniform.
Fucking
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Fucking
Maybe the dog
awesome.
tags.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
so fucking
that's
cool,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
good.
god.
Yeah, so much of that.
Oh, that's very good.
Hell yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
a really, really good one. I like that one a lot. Okay, so here's another one. What is I don't want to use the word underrated, but what is a scene that after this finale ended and this week went by that popped in your head of like, oh, that was a good scene, that isn't one of the like major ones, I guess, that we've had that we've already talked about, but something that kind of like went under the radar, I guess.
That we did or someone else did or whatever.
Whatever. You did,
Every
somebody
time
else did.
Run spoke, just barely in the background,
Yeah.
almost inaudible. there would just be a little, like a word or a line that would reference what's happening in the foreground and everyone having a main scene, and he would just say something that was so spot on. Right, I can't even think of a good example, but it was just like every time he would just say something like a flippant comment because he didn't know, or his memory of the experience was removed, or like that. Those little moments got me every time.
Yeah.
There are a couple, I think, where I was in the scene and I was like, fucking hold it together. It kills me. It was so impressive.
John's line in I think it's episode 2 or 3. You guys were talking about twin sense. And then John came in and asked you the same question. Like, you must get this question all the time. But do you have that twin thing? And he just came in. Oh, man. That's so good. There were a couple of lines like that where I almost broke just because
That's a bit like
perfect.
why I did the joke at the end. Because them two wanted me to make a joke. So I came in and made the joke.
Yeah.
That we're in a memory. Because they were like, oh, he's going to walk in and be like, oh, we're in a memory. I figured it out. So I walked in and went, we're in a memory.
Yeah, I was so deep in it. I didn't even understand.
What? So
You went
good.
right over my head.
I was like, it's the
So
last
good.
thing they were
Well,
expecting.
Brad's character for sure for me was just. I feel like I watched Brad. I was not in a lot of scenes with Brad, so I got
know.
to just watch Brad, which wasn't it worked out perfectly. We would have hated each other. We were always going back and forth. But watching him not talk. I know that sounds so weird, but there were so many scenes where he wouldn't say anything and he would just stare and look. And I was either dying laughing or so into what he was portraying in that moment. Because it's so unlike Brad, really.
Yeah.
Just to not say, not be loud or boisterous or in it. And just have to be
Just
hit
letting
the-
that punchline
just
go. Where
Oh
he
my
just doesn't
God.
say
fucking
anything at all.
incredible.
Yes.
And I know he's wanting to jump on it
He's
or
thought of
wanting to say
6
something, but
different jokes in this one conversation that he can't say.
I was cry laughing in a bunch of things that
I even just
no one
had
was
to do it
laughing.
then when Pax lifted up the uniform and I wanted to go, oh, I didn't know that you were German. I've learned now on a Wednesday at this time to just don't take the jokes. But I did a lot of just sitting and listening in this, and it was really fucking hard to do. But also, most of the time I was in character, these guys are idiots and we're all gonna die. That's all he was thinking a lot of the time. He's we're never getting out of this.
Yeah.
They're all crying about something that someone spilled some milk. And, they're whining about oh, this thing, well, we're gonna go and get a McFlurry and stuff. And Blake the whole time is oh my God, nothing matters. The house is on fire and everyone's oh, my desk, and he's just putting out the little fire on the desk and everything else is ablaze around you is kind of how he was watching everything. But he didn't interrupt or anything because I guess he just there's no point. I think it was a lot of his reasoning. And then I also got to flip that a little bit and bring it back around as Wix, and Wix actually just was extremely unassertive or unassertive, where he can't quite, it doesn't want to interrupt. Blake would absolutely interrupt you, or he just saw no point in doing it. It's just you see 2 dogs barking. It's well, I'm not getting in the middle of that. That's what he kind of was doing the whole time. But it was really difficult to do. And I just I feel also he was just gathering data. He's listening to you all speak, and then he goes, okay, so it's this. And then he can present you with something pragmatic and conclusive, something you can take and use, which is all he cared about. And yeah, it was almost impossible for me to do. It was really difficult.
What was that question again? What was the question of the?
Can Brad interrupt John's answer about
little scenes that you really enjoyed that maybe flew under the radar that aren't one of the big ones that we've talked about?
Okay. Flew under the radar. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was the scenes we wish or have more of. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, that's another question too. That's coming up.
Oh. Okay.
Well, if you have that, you can answer that too. Is there any scenes that you wish were extended or scenes that you wish you could have had?
A full episode of Autumn on a Bench, Forrest Gump style, telling stories.
Yep.
Oh,
That would have been amazing.
Would've wanted.
Yeah.
totally
People
agree.
come and sit at the bus stop beside her, and she's just sitting there knitting and just chatting them to death. And they're just wonderful older lady stories that you just go, and just listen to. 3 hours of that.
Yeah.
3 hours of that.
Yeah.
I could
Let me
also
tell you
done
about existence.
3 hours of Dex and Autumn going back and forth. Like
God.
just their
Still one of my
back and
favorite
forth
moments.
was hysterical. It was so good. So good.
God.
I wanted to do a musical episode, but Brad said no. So you guys can stop asking me about
I
that.
still think we should have just done it. I do. Throw it on him like the Dust Veil thing. We just start singing, and then he could either not or.
well, it would have been
just Blake.
perfect
I'm the
because it
only
should have
person
been.
who can't sing or
It-
rap.
I was
or
gonna have you do a rap battle
play
with
an
John. It
instrument.
would have been perfect. It would have been perfect.
Autumn, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's
Oh,
good.
it's so good.
That'll be next level, a table story musical.
I want to do it.
God.
Mark my words. Yeah, but anybody else with small moments that you really enjoyed?
I loved the one shots so much.
Yeah, that's
and I know
another
that's
question,
such a.
actually.
I'm not picking a moment, but like those, and I'll be honest, I was like once again, I've learned a lot to just trust, and like a lot of things that I just
Yeah.
always did, but like I would secretly be like, well, I don't think this is a great idea. And then like after one shots, I was like, this is the best. It's
This
so
entire
refreshing.
show
Can
was
we
a,
flash back to like months ago when PB wanted to jump a couple weeks ahead?
Yeah.
And John was
He
like,
was right, though.
I lost my shit.
He was
Yeah.
right,
I
though.
can't, guys.
He
I
was right.
lost my shit.
Couple weeks, and now he's like, fuck it,
Fuck
future,
it.
let's do it.
Anything. I loved it all.
It
Yeah.
was fucking awesome.
It was good.
I love how everyone in the show was willing to go along with whatever craziness anyone else came up with.
Yes.
It was the whole thing was a trust fall. It was like
Yeah.
I hope that we're cool and we're having this conversation even when we were arguing like with Blake and Autumn, it was still really intense and they were both like really like they had conviction, you know, and they were like, well, fuck you too then. And it was just like, well, we're doing this, we know we're arguing, and Brad and I were like afterwards we're like, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Like we would like message each other like, fuck, I'm really sorry about Autumn. He's like, no man, Blake was just, if he hadn't done that, it would have been like, we wanted to stay true to the characters, but you know, Brad and I are just like, well, are you okay? You know, we want to make sure that everyone, it's comforting to know that your fellow castmates care about your mental well-being while you're role playing with them. You know, it's very like, it was such a wonderful thing to be a part of, knowing that people had your back on role playing and not just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm going to be angry at you. Have a nice day. You know, because that affects you. It affects you whether you think about it or not. So really, really happy with that. We were able to ad lib and just bounce off each other like that.
Do you think?
One of the things that made made Nocturne so special
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
after
That's
certain
all.
episodes, like I remember there was a couple episodes where I had to message Pax and be like, bro, listen, that wasn't me. I hope you know that. And I know that wasn't you, like with simpatico, right? Like no
This
one's
is how I treat RP.
No,
I
like-
put on my work hat.
Yeah.
and then it
Exactly.
happens
He's like,
during
it's-
it, whatever,
Yeah.
and then he take
it's
it off.
family game
Yeah.
night, and you're like, you snuck on Park Place and didn't say anything.
Yeah, you little
Then
shit.
when you put
Yeah.
it away, you're like, okay, game's over.
Well, to be fair, with Nocturne, like Pax set the tone episode 1 by, I think he slapped another player and called
Yeah,
them a
it was
bitch.
TK.
It was me.
Yeah, yep, it
Yep.
was it was you, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Shut up, you bitch," or something
And
like
it
that, and I was like, "All right, here we go." Yeah, here we go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nocturne, bitch.
Yeah. Woo, yeah, it
so
was
good.
Do you think though
Can't say
that
I ever wanted to be slapped before. Go on, I'm sorry.
do you think that trust fall aspect, Speth, is what helped you just take that leap during that autumn revelation? Because you
No.
messaged me and I wasn't like, I had gone to go pee and she had messaged
Yeah.
me being like, is this like, I could take this in a number of different ways. And I had said like, do whatever, I trust you. And then I went up to go pee and I came back and she's like, is this okay? And I'm like, yes, whatever you're doing. Yes, it's totally fine. I totally
Yeah.
am with it. But like, I am curious to know like how you had the stones to just do that. Cause that is such a crazy, bold thing to do. And I'm so happy you did it. But like,
You mean like to like take over the narration
Yes,
for the
yeah.
that was a moment of, I hope I'm not stepping on PB's toes here, because I definitely don't want to control the narrative.
Yeah.
But also I'm going to control the narrative now, because that's a part of Gone. That was a part
Yeah.
of like, holy shit, we're not who we think we are.
Yeah.
So in that moment, it was like, at least I have PB's permission to do this. At least I have like her blessing to be like, take it away,
Yeah,
you know.
do whatever.
And it was a really fucking cool moment of like, oh my god, I've never done this in a tabletop game before.
That's actually,
Take it
yeah,
in.
segueing off of that, that's actually kind of like a spitball question. Like you table story virgins, specifically John and Elspeth, from expectations to now.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
everyone else is like, we knew what we were getting into. This is just like ding ding round 2. Like, we're
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
already covered in blood. Like, let's go. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Well, how
Yeah.
was it from like the beginning? Like, oh, I don't know. Or just what's the process? How was the process from like signing up to today? Emotionally, whatever.
I think like you could read me like a book at the end of every episode. I was just, every time I was just like I fuck, like every time I
Best
said the
episode
same. I
yet.
literally think there could be a compilation of me at the end of every episode, either tears in my eyes, upset, happy.
How
and I
John
just
felt
can't
about
speak.
Gone.
And literally, it's just like,
you going,
welcome,
like,
John. And
what?
everyone in the comments who had seen Nocturne was like, oh, you have no idea. Oh, this is normal. This is normal. And I'm like, what do you mean this is normal? Every episode felt like a season finale.
Yeah,
Every
it really did.
episode in its own right felt like this big, even if it was like, you know, quieter and more chill, it just felt like this, like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. So I'm going to throw this question back at you, and I want Elspeth to answer it as well. But real quick, what was this different than Nocturne? As far as like PB style, did PB style change? Were there any
Oh, yeah.
surprises for you guys as far as
I would like to
this
know
whole
this
thing?
too, because I tried to do some things differently. So I'm curious to what you're gonna say. Thanks.
Different?
Whatever that is.
like different in a sense of like, you know, like
I think what PB does, at least this is just for me, I don't know if I'm talking for anybody else. What PB does to me is she wraps me in a blanket of security. This isn't a dark show. This isn't a dark show. It's not Nocturne. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Like you're picking a little kid to play. Like you're gonna come in as an NPC. It's gonna be funny. And now I'm dead. So 9 months later. Like, so when a new show comes up, you're like, well, I mean, she won't do the same thing again,
she got you.
right?
She got you.
She baited.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm happy for it.
I thought I was going to play a happy character.
You did a little bit. A little bit.
One episode. And kind of.
Lord, okay, that was.
But
Good.
Elspeth, do you feel like, how do you feel? Like, were you just, because I know this is very different for you too. Like this was wild.
From like the beginning when PB messaged me, she basically was like, "Hey, do you want to be on this new show I'm doing? It's dark. It's you know, science fiction. It's based around like really like just some really cool topics that I was immediately on board with. Like my favorite movie of all time is The Matrix. I think The Matrix is fascinating. I
yeah.
could watch that every single day of my life.
Yep.
And this reminded me so much of that storyline in The Matrix about like, wow, you're actually like not who you think you are. I love that. I love that humans are way more powerful than they give themselves credit for. And this show was a perfect example of that. It was a perfect example of you can do this. And although this may be fantasy, I think that humans just haven't quite unlocked some shit yet.
Yeah,
I
we
think
use like
we're
a small percentage of our brain,
like
right?
a fraction,
Yeah.
right? And so this show for me was like, fuck, I love like just busting out of that norm, right? Like like the what you expect from a tabletop show was not what I was expecting. I was like, okay, this is going to be some weird mind game shit, and I'm here for it, right? Like, I absolutely loved every episode because it always went a different direction. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. And sometimes I pride myself on being able to like predict movies and the writing and stuff. I'm like, okay, here we go, good. I've seen this movie before. This story was unique and colorful and sad and uplifting, and it was fucking incredible. So my expectations were just they're blown out of the water, man. Absolutely.
And we knew nothing going
know.
into this. Nothing. When we made our
Nothing.
characters, I'll say it again. PB said, make the most normal character you've ever made. Make a boring average Joe living in Louisiana. And I'm like, what? So wait, I don't have superpowers. No, of course not. You're just like a normal guy. You go work at a Starbucks.
She
I was like,
lied.
it's like, fuck a Starbucks. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just be like my life if I kept playing music at 20. Like that kind of sounds cool. If I
Yeah.
kept touring the world. And
Man,
like,
there's a point during character creation, John, where you were like, or it was like a week or so after we had made everybody, and you were like, hey, I'm actually like really excited to play an average Joe in just like the regular world. And I was sitting there like, oh, God. Like,
I was just like,
no.
this is so weird because I come from shows where you're like, you're a rogue and you can be like, yeah, you can be like these like, you know, crazy dwarf characters with like accents. And I was like, okay, so just I think I messaged you like 10 separate times. Like you just want normal, you
Just
want my
normal,
memories
normal.
to just be like normal memories. Like your mom and dad got into a fight about money. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
What is this?
Jesus, okay. How are you going to do anything with this? Whatever, I'll trust you.
I was
So
paranoid about that as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's everyone else got on their sheets? Because mine sucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this is a. I can't
That's-
bring
that's-
this
No,
character
you
to a
had
show.
some, you
too.
had
I was
some
like,
crazy shit on yours.
I had some really boring crap. I was like, yeah, I
too.
dropped acid. Like
Yep.
that Autumn was
Yep.
like very, very average, you know? She was like sewing with her grandma. I think the craziest thing she did was like grow tomatoes in her toilet by accident. That was a memory of like,
Oh, bless
That's so
her.
good.
like she
Great memory.
legitimately had a like just off the wall, you know, what the hell am I doing here? Like her memories are very all over the place. But
I guess
she was,
you could
she
call
was-
those number 2 martyrs. Yeah. All right.
Can I go?
All right, thanks
can I go
guys.
home now?
Thanks for
Mike,
coming
go
out.
home, man.
Gon's gone.
Oh my
Gon's fucking
goodness.
gone. Get me out of here.
On the other side of that, though, I wanna mention like the people who are ostensibly supposed to be like the bit characters, the bit players.
Yeah.
It felt like we were plotting against you. Like, how are we gonna fuck their minds up? Like the hardest, the fastest. Like,
Yeah.
like how is it going to be when we go surprise, bitches? Like that ain't what you think it is. Like,
Yeah.
College freshman thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every little thing was like lighting a different fuse. Like all of us had little like cherry bombs set up, and when we pop in, we go. I'm gonna give you a little nugget here, and then I'm gonna peace out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That was fun and interesting too, because like what I told
Fuse, good one, Dan.
yeah, what I told you guys, the rotators too, was also somewhat a lie. Like, so I told the main 3 characters, I was like, you guys don't know anything. And then we sat down and I was like, here's what you know for reality. But then there
Nibiru,
was still
kind
a
of.
surprise for you guys
Yeah.
after that fact. But
Yeah.
I struggled with that because the whole point in trying to do it the way that I did it was the weird meta line. Like, I really wanted to see if we could push that and make you feel like you were, you know, like, oh, well, what I know is real because that's what I was given by the GM or whatever. And so then that's the only way for me to really feel satisfied if you guys ever broke the narrator. If you ever broke out, you need to be breaking out of the boundaries that are set that you think are unbreakable. The rules that the
rules.
Yeah, the rules of the game that are unbreakable. So yeah.
I
Still
love
don't know
wild.
the rules.
I
What?
loved it.
Yes, it was.
I still don't know the rules.
Yeah, there was a
We didn't-
lot.
What rules?
That's
Yeah.
One of the most unique things about this was that us 3 specifically were told not to look at the book
Not
or
to look at the rulebook.
to worry
yeah.
about the game.
Yeah.
Because ironically, we had to learn what the game was and then stop playing the game.
Yes. Yes.
Weird meta.
You learned the
Which was
world
so
first,
fun.
and not the game.
Good.
Which was so fun.
Good.
It's my shit through and through to just be completely in character without. Like, it's pure. I literally can't meta if I want.
Yes, exactly. And
Pure
I
is a
think
good
it gives
word.
you a sense of comfort too, because you just do whatever. You don't have to worry about anything else in the background because you know all you know is what has been given to you. So yeah, I think that's interesting. It's a little extra work for me because I'm like, keeping track of your numbers and shit on your sheets, and sometimes you guys would roll for stuff and all it was you just didn't have enough point. You hadn't accumulated enough points to be able to do a thing, so you would fail. But it was fun watching you try to figure out, you know, like, well, why didn't it work this time versus that time? And yeah, it was just really neat. There was another question that I will actually answer since it's come up, but about home brewing the vagabonds and not using their it's called Habitat in the book, and they absolutely were using habitats. They're just using custom homebrewed stuff that I wrote for them. But most of the other players, the rotators, were using abilities that were in the book. It was only the main three, Dex, Autumn, and Blake, that had custom abilities. Rather, I almost said spells. That's not what I meant, but custom powers and abilities. So yeah. Another question for you guys, for everybody. What was your favorite one shot?
Mine
Which ones
for
were the one
sure.
shots?
So Dustvale, the scientists. So Violet's
my
one
God,
shot.
that was
Yeah.
so good.
Violet's one shot, Dustvale. And then the
D&D.
the D&D, Ceasefire, and then the
the
ship.
ship.
Yeah. Those are 4 that come off the top of my head. I don't know if we did
Which
any
one was
others.
the ship?
but
The ship?
The last one where you guys were all before the
the
flashback.
flashback.
Yeah.
Oh,
The flashback.
yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah.
I really liked the
Oh, and
flashback,
the
even though it was
Among Us one.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. That was a one shot too.
The D&D session was kind of nutty.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was also crazy because Brad was GMing. He just decided to GM for me. And
Yeah, that was awesome.
I have to just say this again because nobody notices this stuff unless you're a GM. It's really fucking hard to GM, period. What's even harder is to pretend like you are a bad GM while also simultaneously being a good GM and getting in all the things that I was throwing at him. Like, throw this
someone
in there,
else's
throw
story,
that in
yeah.
there. Yeah,
Right.
and he just...
When you're not the GM.
Yeah. He just... It was flawless pacing, flawless GMing
Amazing.
while making it look like he was stumbling.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I feel like you told me that day as well.
Yeah, I did.
Can't remember that day.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Literally,
Yeah.
like right
I think
before
we were
we
in the
went
call,
live.
and you're like,
Well, yeah,
oh,
we were
am
on the
I
calls like, who
running
wants
this?
to be the GM? And
Yeah.
you're like, I guess I'll do it.
I'll do it, yeah.
It was
Yeah,
that
it was
early.
in
I
the
don't
call.
even remember. That's how bad my memory is. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
it was
enjoyed
very-
doing that because for me, as much as like you say all those things, I was having fun trying to just throw references in that were in the game that referenced. Because I had you'd told me that I had to say 3 things to Dex, wake up, or there were 3 things that you wanted me to try
So
and get across
crazy.
to him. So
Yeah.
I kind of knew what was going on a little bit. So I got to just sprinkle in these little references and I don't know, just stuff that made sense and mirrored. That was really fun to do.
P.S. For anyone who ever watches that back, I had a full-blown panic attack during that episode.
Really?
You'll just see me grabbing my chest and shit. I was fully having a panic attack.
one?
I was tripping balls because it was scaring me so much that it was I was going in and out of reality of kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I just started, my heart was just
yourself.
Oh,
racing
no,
like
that's
crazy.
horrible.
I was tripping out. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one? Is this the D&D episode?
It
Yeah,
was
the
good
D&D
because
episode,
it played
yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah,
But
but
after
man-
we got done, I was
You had to take a moment.
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Oh, kids are crying. Guys,
Gotta go.
Bye, sorry.
They're
Ugh, high five.
passed out in the
ironically-
living room watching
Get
TV.
outside. Yeah, at the end.
Ironically,
Yeah.
that was also Classy Katie every other minute during every other episode. So you think you're
I mean-
special?
In Nocturne, I legitimately had some breakdowns.
Oh, same.
Used them heavily. They were. If you got fuel, fuck it.
I had a rough one in Nocturne too, where I was fucked up for a day or two based
Yeah.
on someone's performance.
And you love the
Packs.
GM panic attack while you're still having to spin the plates. You're
Oh,
also
yeah.
kicking over the sticks that they're on, and you're like, "Why am I don't know where I am."
I'm actually really surprised that I was able to keep it together as much as I did during this show, because there were moments where I think if I had been Nocturne narrator, I would have, because with Nocturne I was just present and I was there and I was an observer, but for Gone I very specifically had I was role playing somebody the whole time for the most part, so that kept me together. There were moments where I wanted to break down and I had to bite my cheek and just be fucking, you cannot cry right now, because if anybody knows this or when they rewatch it back, it's got to stay cohesive, I guess. Yeah. So it was good. My favorite was the Dustvale one. I liked them all, but I really
Beautiful.
liked that one. That was really good.
Super fun.
With the
magical.
goggles
Maury's
and the
machine?
the machine,
Yeah.
the flying machine that they got
Oh,
working.
that one was
Yeah.
the magic
That was
of how we
really
all
fucking
made
good,
these
yeah.
one-shot characters separately,
Yes.
and they were just like,
and they worked
poof.
together. Oh, it was so
that
good.
was amazing. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I know this wasn't a one shot, but I really enjoyed Maury's Mountain. It turned out like I had
That was my feels episode.
very different plans for like towards the end because I think we were aiming. I was personally aiming for like 4 or 5 episodes before he left, and then the departure just happened organically, and I was like, "Yep, it's happening now." So yeah, it was really really good, but I really enjoyed the mountain. Yeah.
I'm just flipping through the
Big Rock
book here.
Candy Mountain.
If I hadn't, like, I was so close to just like, I don't care. I'm gonna fucking play it during the end credits, and I'll just replace it for the YouTube version. But I'm really glad I didn't now, otherwise we'd be in big trouble.
God.
Yeah. I was like, fuck it. It'll
I'm not
just
sure
be
if
muted
that's-
on Twitch.
That might be public domain. It's so old.
Yeah, might be.
Depends
but
on the
depends on the
recording.
recording
Yeah.
version of it, and I didn't have time to look it up on YouTube.
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah. I pulled it
Yeah,
up.
if you
and
played
was-
it from
I
Oh
was
Brother,
so
Where
close.
Art Thou?
I was so
Yeah.
fucking close.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Scientists.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah,
love
that one
that.
was really tough.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Tap into something so dark and so like to try and try and become a character that is so unlike me, like the ends justify the means
Yeah.
kind of a thing. That was a challenge. I love those
Yeah.
opportunities to challenge myself, to put myself not only in somebody else's shoes, but somebody who I probably would detest.
Yes. I I don't know about Brad, but we recently did that for the vampire show. It was 6 grueling episodes of being like the worst person imaginable, and I just like can only do it for 6 episodes. I don't know if I could go any longer than that.
Yeah, I
but
do
yeah.
it for like 4 or 5 hours every day.
That's it.
Easy.
Easy.
Oh, okay.
It's on a slow day.
Yeah, it's all good.
That'll be my next character. I'm gonna be just a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna be
the
Brad
reason
on
I
my
have
next
insomnia.
episode.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Weighs
be
me
a
down
heel,
eventually.
man.
Well, here's
It
the
is
thing.
very
Here's the
hard
thing
to
that
be the asshole.
the thing that a lot of people like actors and improv and role players and stuff that I want to stress so hard is that if you're going to play a character that you yourself personally would not like, you have to find something about them like something you can understand,
Yeah.
because you'll end up playing a caricature rather than a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, and that's the most like mentally taxing part.
Yeah.
Is when you get done, you're like, I don't really think like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had this anchor that I built in
Where
there
the
to
fuck
keep me
did that
hooked to
come
it.
from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Why doesn't it
Capable
make me a
of
better
that
person?
because I'm
Yeah.
capable of
You understand.
thinking of that.
Or like,
Why these actors go crazy? Some of
yeah.
them.
Yes.
Character actors who get so into it.
The
and
method actors and shit.
Method actors get fucking go
I
nuts.
was doing this thing for the vampire show where it was like something would come up, and throughout the week I'd be like, what would Sophia do? What would her reaction be during this particular moment? And it'd just be like throughout the day. And then it's like when the show's over and a thing happens, and then I'm like, wait, no, that's the Sophia reaction. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm glad I know what it would be, but I don't need to know it anymore. Goodbye. You know, it's just, yeah, it's tough. Nope. I don't know. Okay, I have some more questions, but does anybody want to have an answer for the favorite one shot, KPP? And I just
I
put
don't
you on
know.
the spot.
No, that's fine. I like the
Anyone,
Among Us
KPP?
thing just because
Yeah.
it was fun. I was only really a part of the ship one, so that one's my favorite. But I watched the other ones, and they were
Yeah.
all, I don't know, great in their own way.
Yeah.
I was jealous I wasn't a part of the other ones, so I have to say ship.
Which
just
one
by
were you
default.
most jealous that you weren't a part of?
Man, that's really hard.
Right in the feelers.
Well, you were in the flashback. You were in. Oh no, you weren't in the D&D one.
Oh, and that
You were
I
a
think-
character that I created in the ship one, which made me think you were in it. You were
Lore
the,
was in it, right?
Lore
Lore
was
was
in
in
it, as
it,
the
yeah.
captain, right?
Yeah,
That's why I, thought
think-
you were in it. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I honestly had to take a
Memory.
minute to go like, was I in it? And I don't know. That's
Right.
really trippy.
That's how trippy this show was.
Yeah. I think in a way the D&D one, because I feel like I was a part of it, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that one.
Everyone was in it. I had everyone's head roll out of a bag at
Yeah.
one point.
All the 9 heads. Yeah, I don't think we ever said that. But
God.
yeah, the 9 heads. Oh, I did want to answer something, if it's okay with you, Brad. A lot of questions came in about Dustvale and who the man in red was. Can I answer that, or would you prefer I not say anything? That
You
shot
can
run.
answer it.
Yeah, it's Raja the Red from Brad's campaign Dustvale.
And I also feel like you did a great impression of Fairlight Excalibur.
Thank you.
When you go back and watch it, it's actually a legit impression. Which
Is that
pretty
when we
cool.
see him? Me and Mari?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, how did I get here? I don't even know how I got here. Yeah. Because there's a moment in Brad's campaign where he disappears and goes somewhere and then comes back. And that's what happened.
Fuck,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Some just weird behind the scenes crap. So, yeah. I'd like to open it up to you guys to ask each other questions. We still have some, but I'd love for you guys to have the opportunity to ask each other stuff if anybody has anything.
Mythomatic, OnlyFans when?
CK, you had
all
one. I'll save you, Cord. CK, you had a question, right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Zeke this question. It's cheating because we live together, but I wanted to hear. I didn't ask him in private because I want to put him on the spot.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
How the hell would you redeem Maury? Like, how could Maury go on? Was there ever an option for Maury to survive and be a real functioning human? Ever?
Don't say that about him. I love all
I
the
know it's
characters.
heartbreaking, but like when I contemplate, I mean, Violet had a lot of memories, but like Maury did it to himself. And like the whole reason he was driven was his kid. But like, is there a redeemable moment for Maury? Do you honestly think? I don't know. I'm very just curious.
Do I think he could have been redeemed?
Do you, in his eyes, in Maury's eyes, was he redeemable? Do you think he would have ever been at peace for any way
No.
other than what he did?
No.
Yeah.
That's the part of the reason why I think he told himself, he lied to himself saying that the experiments that he did, sure, means to an end. But after he had time to think about what he had done, there's no getting rid of that. There's no taking that out of your brain unless you like it's like a drop of poison in a glass of water. He just kept adding more and more water to try and dilute the poison, but the poison's still there.
God, that's
and that's why at the end, like towards the end of his run, it was, he didn't want redemption. He just wanted to be useful. That's the only thing that was left for him. He didn't have anything else. He knew his son was long gone. There's nothing else driving him. The only thing that he could figure that would be doing the most good was to have a use. And that's what he did. That's what he tried to do. And then it was completely nullified, which is hilarious. Which I think is just desserts. It's like, I'm going to facilitate this happening. Oh, you didn't need me? Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a fitting end, so to speak.
Yeah.
How did he actually make it up that mountain? I don't know if only PB can answer this. Like, I don't know how he wasn't weighed down. I'm guessing every other time he was weighed down to the point where he wasn't successfully able to make it to the top, and they shared the load between them.
I'll let Zeke answer this one because it was his journey up the mountain.
Yeah, if he didn't feel like he was redeemable,
I think
carrying that guilt.
I think it was, he finally was able to accept the truth that it wasn't about his son. You see, like his memory at the very end was, choose the mountain or choose your son.
And he chose.
And at that time, he was finally at the point after however many journeys where he was able to go, able to forget it and say, there's nothing to be done about that.
This was never about my son. This was always about me and what I wanted.
Free.
Yeah.
Yep.
sad. I regret my question.
I have a question for you, CK. Do you think that Violet is redeemable? Because she did some pretty shitty things as well.
I don't think so, just because she's so young. I think the peace she found in the end of being absorbed again into Nibiru was honestly what she wanted all along.
Yeah.
Like, just like the sheer happiness, the joy on the ship, you know, having a family. Like her family, her cornerstone was a family.
Yeah.
And that's why she would like continuously just pull people out and hope for someone to stay and be with her. Like she just had this drive to collect people because was her instinct, was to get her friends back. And I think like once she got all the memories of like the ship and the happiness and the joy they had and like the relationships and then what she had done to recover that, I think it was almost as bad as Maury.
Yeah. So this is a question for everybody. I mean, and this is just a general question, but like, is there a difference between like intent here where Maury was aware of what he was doing when he was doing these bad things, but you know, the ends justify the means, whereas Violet was doing these horrific things, but she was like lied to and manipulated. Does it make a difference?
Yeah, I would say so. It's kind of like brainwashing. She's not really in control of it. I would say that there's a little bit of redemption probably there for her, more so than Maury. Sorry, Zeke.
No, you're absolutely right.
I think it's also when you're presented with what you're doing, how you react. That I think determines if you can get your redemption or not. Because Violet immediately was like destroyed because of realizing what had happened. Like when she got her bracelet back and had her memories and went,
Yeah.
oh no, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Finally,
and
her
it-
like drive made sense. And I think that would have driven her.
Yeah, and we saw her like you did a great job with the character, and I know you and I talked about it like off screen to like kind of work through it. Like she immediately was like, I don't know if I can even look at Reckon anymore. Like I know what I did to him. I was the reason he's like this. Like I can't deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
And
I thought like
that
the
was
whole
cool.
conclusion at the end between you and I was a very beautiful conclusion of that story. When I was looking back at like the first couple episodes you and I were together in, and the way we ended together, I thought was really pretty. I'm not gonna cry. I hate this.
I saw something pop up that I heard you two talk about, Cord and Katie, that I thought you might want to mention. Somebody says they're a bit surprised by hints of a relationship between Run and Violet because of like how young Violet was, but I think they're misinterpreting what you were putting down. Would you like to comment on that? Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any hints. I was going for more like a father-daughter.
That's what I mean.
She idolized him.
I think they're
very much
misinterpreting
so.
the relationship. Yeah.
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 It wasn't a because she was very like mature and emotionally wise. She was a little bit older because she'd been on Nibiru for God. She doesn't even know how long. Like she was technically the first to wash up
Yeah.
and start pulling people out. And so she has no idea how long she's been there, but probably mature wise a little bit older. But she was a young like a you know, an intern
Yeah.
on the ship. So I think she was more like looking for someone strong to idolize, and he was the guy that saved everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like why? And she always wanted friends, and that made you feel valuable. So I think she was like, it was more of an idolization than anything.
Cool.
Sorry if it felt weird.
No, I just thought
Didn't
it,
mean to be
it was
weird.
good to clarify it because
No, of course, yeah.
yeah, I saw it at least twice.
Yeah, I was going for
there
like
in
a
the chat.
sister thing with Lore, like just brotherly sister.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Brothers
yeah, I
and
could tell
sisters who
that.
kiss. Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Hey.
Well,
All right,
yeah, we were
Lannisters.
test, you know,
Okay.
in the waters.
I know.
Yeah, for sure. That's totally
Go there, man.
Oh my goodness. Does anybody else have any other questions for each other about your characters or about the show?
Ask.
Probably.
Wow.
But right
So-
now, can't think of any.
KPP,
Can
did
I
you
ask?
say yeah?
Yeah, Pax. Was there anything you wanted or wish you could have done with Adam that you didn't get to?
Great question.
Sure, but I can't even think of it anymore. I mean, I've already written that off. I just went with what I had, and then life hit me and wasn't able to do it. But I tried not to think of like what could have,
Yeah.
because if you start doing that, then you're lying yourself up for potential failure.
Yeah. Or just disappointment in what actually did
Yeah.
happen, right?
Yeah. I try not. I mean, obviously, you still do like, oh yeah, that'd be so cool if this happened, but you try to like put that on the back so that you don't line it up like that. I think the biggest thing would be if something I wish to do was just, I guess, drive a little more a supportive role, a little bit longer, just for the sake of connecting with someone else a little deeper. from the main cast, particularly because that was what we signed on for, was to be like a, an accent to the mains. I just wanted to have a little chance, a little more chance, just to kind of grow on one, and then cut the ties and fuck it up and make them feel miserable. Like just so.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Poetry.
I like that stuff, man.
I
Poetry.
was really interested in the
Classic.
Dex Adam dynamic when Adam saved Dex and was like, and then he was like, oh man, this is my savior twice
He
now.
literally was.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
my savior. And then
I had mental notes of like,
Yeah.
how am I going to approach each of the three in the back of my head. So if I was stuck with Dex, I was going to do this. If I was stuck with Autumn, I was going to do this. If I was stuck with Brad's character, I was going to do this, but keep it obviously true to being a responding robot. So I don't get a lot of freedom in that sense, but I had ideas. So whoever it was going to be, I was looking forward to seeing like, all right, I'm going to make you like me, and then I'm going to leave you.
Oh.
That was
well, you did it with lore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Truly.
And us, the
and
viewers.
all of
I
us,
mean,
that was hard.
Yeah.
That thing you recorded was.
Oh my
Maybe wrote that.
God.
I just sat there and spoke.
Yeah, but you read it and you.
Monotone.
You brought it.
Nah, dude, that.
I did not want to be here that day.
Yeah, that day was tough.
Yeah, me either. But it was good. It was a very good day. It's a fun story that I think I actually shared already, but I wrote that in the emergency room after I'd been hit by a car on my phone. I was like, so yeah, is that all? So yeah, here's what I'm thinking about how do you tell someone a thing when you know you're gonna die? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I have a couple more. This one's a really good one, but I don't know if it's kind of putting everybody on the spot. But what are some themes that happened throughout the show that made you kind of reflect in your real life? Or was there anything that changed your perspective from the show in real life? Which I think is a really interesting question. Yeah.
I personally am very much like Dex in the sense of wanting to make everyone happy. And it made me really realize that hardcore, to the point where like when you try and make so many people happy, you end up actually hurting people more because you're like trying so hard to make this group and that group and like your family and this side of the family and that side of the family. So it kind of like just woke me up on that in that sense. It was like just trying just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I feel
like,
that.
are you even happy? Like if you're just trying to make everyone happy, are you? So like making those choices and sticking with it and, putting your foot down. That was just eye-opening for me.
It was similar for myself, like, but not on the making them happy, but trying to help. Because that's how I built Reckon's character, was he just wanted to help.
And everyone hated him.
And everyone hated him. Yeah. Like it was the great intentions, but he wasn't great at executing it either. Like that's why I really liked his and Run's relationship, was all he wanted to do was help Run, but he probably hurt him more in a lot of ways because of that. And he couldn't recognize it until like way later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just like, ooh, you can't help those that don't want to be helped. Like, and it's good to like have that reinforced as a thought. Like they don't want it. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
They don't want it. Done. That's it. You should just move on. Like,
Unless
which sucks.
they sneak up behind you with a Memrek tool.
Well, yeah, until then,
Dude, the scene where I just got to like suck your neck with the Memrek tool, or like I was pushing memories back in, that was awesome. That was a really fun scene.
So good.
I really like that one. Entertaining. Not that I like to force things on people.
Right.
Can't seek.
I would never. He likes it.
I feel like for me, like there's a lot about identity that we talked about throughout this whole show, which I don't know, like finding out who you are as a person, but also there's a lot of stuff with Lore's arc that was like letting go of things, which I think kind of paralleled with some things in my own life that I really liked. And then like also the realizing that you're enough no matter where you come from or what you did and that kind of stuff, and finding a group that accepts you for that. I didn't expect the show to really kind of delve deep, into my own mind. And so it differs from Nocturne in that way, but I really appreciated the discussions, and it was like philosophical a lot of the times. And I ended up walking away thinking about it throughout the week Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's an interesting way to put it. And getting perspectives from everybody else in the cast too, just from
Yeah.
their characters, was really cool.
Yeah. I took a lot away from the conversation between Lore and Blake about how Blake is like, I just don't interface with the world that way, but that's okay. Like I'm, you
Yeah.
know, I don't need to change. You can't to be enough, which was really, really good.
I like that. I don't know. Metaphor Mountain was really good.
Yeah.
I really
liked it a
like
lot.
that. And sorry, Brad, for yelling at you weekly. I will miss that.
Are you sorry?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to yell at Brad, but I mean, we are.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
I
I
just,
don't want to yell at Brad Weekly. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's.
I think it sounds fun.
Yeah, no, that's interesting though, because I feel the same way. I just played the character where everyone else felt like they were discovering themselves. I played a character who kind of already knew himself but was not accepted a little.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he didn't necessarily discover himself, even though in the literal sense he did. He already was himself, and he was okay with it and fine. It didn't affect his decision making, how everyone thought of him, or he didn't really have any anxiety that made him question his decision making necessarily. He just had theories. He just saw theories and different, things that he would posit and test and experiment with. So I kind of did it the other way around. And so for my character, it was actually kind of fun playing somebody I wouldn't like, confident is a bad word, but I'm not good with words. So he was confident in who he was, and then trying to get that across to people was
Yeah.
more interesting for me
Yeah.
than, like, specifically I think with Lore, where at the end he got to be like, I'm just me. This is who I am. It doesn't. He's just Blake, or he's Wix, or he's Lucian, or he's Accent. That's just who he is. So that was an interesting one for me to think of, I guess. Even if some people don't accept that, I don't think
Yeah.
it really mattered, to me or him.
Anybody else before I ask some quick gunshot questions?
This is are we still on the deep one about character
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what you took away from the show, or anything that kind
Yeah.
of helped you or changed your perspective in real life.
Yeah, Run has changed my perspective in a lot of things. Delving into a character that is never really there for reasons being his own, whether it be drugs or whether it be just his memory, was really easy for me to just grab onto and express. And being in that perspective, it's been really helpful for me to be a better listener and to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's many times where he wasn't in the moment because he never would allow himself to be in the moment because he was always afraid of which moments he always had to face. And I have grown up and still have and am figuring out in my 32 years how ADHD works. And a lot of us, I think, are too, not just here in the call, but just everyone across the world. Whether it is growing up in a world or a society or a schooling system that doesn't help, or anyway, it's
Care.
the care, or anything like that. But delving into Run and having these a character who just doesn't, who just isn't there because by choice, was really easy for me to reflect on, because there are plenty of times in my life where I will have conversations with people or events will happen, but I'm super hyper focused on something else, or I'm distracted, but so much distracted that I don't remember what happened. And then I am embarrassed about it. And then I will just nod like I knew what happened. And then
Run did that a lot. Like, oh,
yeah, and
okay.
Run, yeah, exactly. And then Run
Yeah.
later, like, Run, and what are we doing here again?
Yeah.
And we told you that. Oh, right. And so it was just, yeah, and it's just this. It was very easy, and there was a lot of those times where I felt like people were talking to me, and it was nice to know that they weren't talking to me, but to recognize where in Run those things were,
Yeah.
and recognize where I was and how I can, as Cord, be a better listener and be in the moment, and do these things, and to be and just to be better for it. So like that's what I love about role playing is giving yourself. Yes, for a lot of people it's all about acting and being, oh, how was I today, blah blah blah. But over the years it's been more of a really donning that role and being at that therapeutic piece of finding the character, what's interesting about this character, where is your anchor, like we spoke about before, what ties you into that character, and then from there, when you're safely find that strand of you and that character, branching out and exploring what makes them and what differs them from you and how you can change from it. So I think just a lot of run and a lot of the experience, and a lot of the perspectives from all these characters and him interacting with everyone has helped me a lot. So thank you, everybody.
Word to that, dude.
Yeah. Does anybody else have an answer to this one, or can I continue with a couple quick questions, and then I have another big one?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, it's just, did you take away any of the themes or the philosophies from the show? Did they change or shape you outside of the game as well?
I would say, honestly, like role play in general has made me a better listener. Just when Myth said that, like that rang in my head, like just learning to step back and allow silence fucking kill me. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's really just role playing in general and doing, D&D and stuff with friends has really given me this allow it to be quiet for a minute. It's cool, which is kind of just a life skill in general.
Zeke, did you have an answer as well? Seemed like you were going to say something, but I wasn't sure.
I'm trying to like answer the question as best I can as far as themes from the show.
Yeah. Themes of identity or the philosophy or the mind cage, I guess, was one that we touched on for your mind.
I mean, every like session or season, I guess, of role playing that I do always teaches me a little bit more about myself every time. But this show specifically, the idea that who we are is just our memories. That was a fun thing to think about. Like, you don't have your memories. Like, you take away every single memory someone has, and then they're just left with knowledge. Not like how to speak, how to write.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, I
That's an interesting concept
yeah.
for the show too. Like just in general, when I sat down to write it, I was like, that's something that's very near and dear to me, because through my own life journey, I have had to come to terms with like some bad shit that happened when I was young. If I got rid of it, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so now, in a weird way, I hate to use the word cherish, but I understand that it's very needed for me to be where I am today. And I wouldn't just give it away. So when I found this rule set that trades memory currency, I was like, that's such an interesting idea and a very challenging role play situation where you could be becoming a different person week to week because of what you're trading away. Now, we didn't do a lot of that, save from Run, who gave away a lot of his memories all the time. But that's one aspect of the show that I mean, I'm very happy with the way Gone went, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but I am interested in that, and I would have liked to see more of that maybe, or I'd be interested in what Gone would have been had it been more about kind of like trading that and shifting and changing in that way. It would have been a very different story, I think. But yeah, that does intrigue me as well. That's one of the ones that gets me. So I have some bullet questions for you guys. Brad, why did Blake dance?
I think because I think there's two reasons. One, I think maybe it was one of the only times I did meta a little bit. I wanted him to have some kind of character arc and not just remain relatively staple, in his ways and have that he didn't really learn anything. That was kind of my addition. Two, I think also he thought that maybe from his perspective, Nibiru or something was questioning him and seeing if he could I don't know, go beyond himself and think outside of his own ways, and maybe it wanted him to dance with Autumn and Dex, and to just let go. And like the reason he's struggling to see these answers is because he never. One place he's never looking is, you know, where everyone else is kind of looking, like in the here and now. Enjoy yourself, be free, relax. And maybe that's the reason he's been trapped here for so long, and maybe he came to that conclusion. I just thought it would be nice to see him actually let loose. And it would be it works in one of his theories, and also it's just nice to see him actually relax for once and let go and accept. It's a nice thing where he kind of accepts the way they are and they accept the way he is, and there's a blend there that he can do. So, you know, he probably danced awfully, but he danced. I think that was really all I was thinking at the time.
I think that's a beautiful answer. KPP, what is Lore's scar, if you're willing to share, on her face? Where did it come from?
I kind of like the idea of keeping that secret.
Okay. Yep, that's okay.
But yeah, there's a lot I think that we didn't dive into with Lore, so I don't know.
Is there anything that we didn't dive into Lore that you'd be willing to share?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, did people figure out what my
Your
what's it called?
habitat?
Your
your
habitat
revelation?
or my revelation?
They didn't, but you're welcome to share those things because they're amazing.
Yeah, it was the Dreadlands.
Yep.
And then also Revelation of the Mourner, which is why she cried black drug-like tears.
What was that? What? Sorry? You cried?
What?
She
Yeah.
cried. So I think what was really interesting, do you want to tell them like about what's in her? Because that's lore that we never saw. It's up to you though. I don't want to share it if you don't want to share it.
That's fine. There's a lot because earlier you said, are there any memories you wish we shared? And I was like, no, because they're all so damn depressing. Like Lore found memories that she thought were intended for her, but weren't. And so she took on all these depressing, dark memories. So essentially what the tears that would come and stuff, she had what was like in an essence, a parasite within her that kind of personified depression in my head a bit. And it ate away at her. And so she was always looking to try to fix that. And that's what a lot of this stuff came from. So I'm kind of glad we didn't tackle some of these memories.
Yeah, some of them are pretty rough. But yeah, she has a parasite that's called a nightmare, which is actually in the rule book. So she is actually ill, which is insanely awesome sad that we didn't touch on it. But yeah, it was a really cool tidbit that I think we didn't discover about her. Okay, next shotgun question. Pax, why a robot?
Why not?
Yeah. Fucking love robots. Sorry.
We know you love robots.
I know. Do you have anything more to expand on that, or no? It is a shotgun question. You don't have to.
I think it just came from your excitement, really, when we were spitballing about ideas and stuff like
and
that.
You were like, is anybody thinking it's true?
And you just started just going on this crazy tangent about the AI virus and stuff. And you can hear the pitch of your voice. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I did.
I'm watching your streams with little desk robots. You just go nuts about. Look what he's doing.
I'm going to be a plant in your next campaign.
Oh, God.
Can you be a robot
walking,
plant? That'd just
walking
be the best.
plant.
Robot
Okay.
plant.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Now that I think back on it, I did get very excited talking about the AI and how it was like consciousness is a disease in this rule book. And I was like, that's so cool. Okay.
You did.
What was one thing that we never discovered about Adam? If you're willing to share, you don't have to.
We didn't discover about Adam.
Yeah.
We didn't really go into the creators of him. Like Dex asked, there was something that Dex said for a moment. I kind of hinted at it about like avoiding those people.
Mm-hmm.
But we never did to go down that avenue, which was going to get like domestic nan involved and a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
And it was like a potential branch to something which never ended up coming to fruition anyways.
Yeah.
On the whole, which is fine. I guess that would be the one thing.
Yeah.
That we never really touched on. Plus, the fact that we never got to really touch on lore when it came to her parasite and stuff like that, because it was she helps me, I help her thing. So we never really got to play tennis with that. But yeah, probably those two things.
Cool. Thank you, Cord. why an addict? And is there anything about Run that we didn't discover that you're willing to share?
Why an addict? I don't know. I think we decided just like in passing how cool it would be. I think it was someone sells memories. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I think in passing, I was like, oh, okay. And I thought somebody else grabbed that. And then later, like maybe a week or that week before episode 1, they were like, no, I thought you were taking the one who sells the memories. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay. All right. Okay. And then, so I was trying to figure out how that would work. And then how a character that is selling all of their memories would stay sane. And I feel like that would probably be the best grasp of it is not necessarily what they're thinking, because if you can't think of anything because you are, let's say, in some sort of catatonic state because you don't remember what you just went through because you actively traumatically took it out of your brain, what do you feel and how do you make feeling it better? And I feel like it would be just a gateway to addiction towards trying to, however, like, oh, my chest hurts a lot because of the gravity here. Why is that? Oh man, if only I remembered why. I'm gonna keep smoking. I feel better now. And then they keep smoking the Kraj, and then it's just an addiction forms, and then the same thing with. So I think that's just kind of how. I think it just kind of went hand in hand with the concept of him selling.
Yeah.
Or trading, or being, and I think him also being he was an adrenaline junkie in the simulator, but he was terrified and a survivalist outside of the simulator.
Is there anything else that we didn't uncover?
I
Oh,
get to
wait, sorry.
reveal it.
Everyone has been asking who's his roommate. I don't know if you want to answer that or not.
So I had a name in mind that was Vendaya, and he mentioned it in one of the episodes. There are a lot of like Easter eggs about the character that I just kind of breezed across, and that was one of them. But as far as the rest of anything about them, they were a shepherd, and their name is Vendaya. Or that was also interpretation, because I really wanted to give that one over to PB for any reason if we wanted to use it. So it was just kind of an open-ended nugget about my character that PB could have. So
I will share with, I think Dan and I came up with an answer for you, or we had one. And that is that Run had an altercation with the roommate, right? And the roommate has passed away. He killed his roommate over drugs, and then Reckon has been lying to him about it this entire time. Like, oh, your roommate's just gone. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it all kind of worked out, and I forgot about that scene happened, and then that scene happened, and that was perfectly fine too, because I made that character just as a subject we can spin off of or not, or they could be alive or not, or whatever. And it definitely worked out for some great storytelling. So thank you both.
Empty room, empty roommate.
Yep.
That's also why that room was kept up very well. It would have been Reckon was going and
Was
making
keeping it up.
keeping
Yeah, he was
it up.
tidying it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that his roommate's room, Reckon was keeping it to make it to
Make it
keep the
seem like
illusion going.
And I think that we decided as a group, the three of us, that you asked him to do it. You asked him to take it from you, the memory.
Yeah, you wanted the memory of you
Of
killing
the-
your roommate gone, and that I Reckon would have promised to.
And in that way, like, Reckon was, well, that's the next shotgun question for Dan. So I will immediately just go into that. Dan, why a secret robot? And was it difficult playing an enabler to Run? And then is there anything we didn't learn about Reckon that you would like to share?
Secret robot. One, I just wanted, I'll be completely honest. I love playing characters that are weirdly complex and that you don't know what their motives are.
You don't say.
Yeah, bizarre. I just like complexity. I don't like, no, not to say that anyone on the show was 2D in any way, shape, or form, because they were not. But yeah, it was, I really wanted that. And I wanted like a character that really struggled with their own identity, in a show about identity, especially, because Yeah, like I mean, just to pull up like a little bit into like my own self, I have it's very mild, but I have mild body dysphoria. Not in like male female side, just like me seeing my own image and being like, no. And it happens, and people experience that in ways, shapes, or forms differently. But I wanted to kind of lean on that a little bit for Reckon and have him constantly going, this isn't my body.
Yeah.
Which was super fun with the theme of you are your memories.
Yeah.
So it made it a very, very fun dynamic because it'd be like, nope, he knows who he is. From day one, he knew who he was. He just didn't feel like it.
I thought that was very powerful the way you played him. I think that will speak to a lot of people. So thank you for playing him.
Heartbreaking, man.
I think he eventually got what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out. Oh gosh, what was the follow-up? Oh, being an enabler. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Was
being
it
an enabler.
difficult?
That was tough.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I mentioned with I built his character and he wants to help. He only wants to help. And so I basically had to play constantly being angry with himself for enabling and at the same time knowing that it wouldn't help Run if he didn't do it. Run would do it himself and eventually make it worse. So it was an in-between of, if I don't do this, he's going to get worse. If I do this, he's never going to get better.
Yeah.
So that was that's caused, that was that great friction there for sure. Things that I didn't get to show off with Reckon though, almost all of his AI memories were about music.
Yeah. You got bonuses when music was playing, like during simulation and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Little tidbits for that.
And I thought that would have been really interesting with, because Dex and him barely got to talk, and Dex was a musician, and there would have been a really interesting potential connection there. Because that was what hard. Yeah. Well, that's what woke up Reckon's AI was music. He was a cleaning bot.
And then he started singing along, right?
He started singing along. He cleaned barges and eventually was at a like an orchestra style like concert is what he cleaned, and that woke him up. And so that was a fun time. But yeah.
Thank you. John.
Yeah.
Why the blue and green eye? And was there anything we didn't discover about Dex that you're willing to share?
So I'm going to be honest. The blue and green eye was something at the beginning because PB was like, make him boring, make him boring.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to mix. No, motherfucker. Okay. He's going to be boring as can be, but he's going to have two different eyes. Deal with it.
Okay. So funny that you say that, John. Because when you made him with the blue and the green eye, I knew that's what you were doing. Because I literally told you, I knew you were breaking the rules. So I wrote that blue-green eye into the show because I was like, drive it home, that might be your way out. That might be your way out.
Day breaking the rules.
Yeah. I knew it. The moment you gave me that character, I was like, oh, that's a big, I'm not going to be normal. I'm not going to be as normal as you want me to be.
I also think that's
it.
why you knew I was gonna do that. You knew I was not gonna listen.
I was hoping that you were gonna not listen, and you didn't. You kept trying to break out really early. Yeah. I was very, very happy about that. So yeah.
And it's so crazy because I remember when Brad, as Blake was saying, or as Lucian was saying, dude, you gotta stop doing this so much because it could be bad.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, that's so true, and it definitely honed me back a little.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I would have just kept going crazy. Ice cream sandwiches for you. Fucking, let's throw a party over here, a birthday party. Like, let's just like cast stuff. That was like one of the most magical moments. Was just like, hey, blank slate, do whatever the fuck, like go.
Aww.
Have fun. And it was just like for me, like I'm like a 14-year-old trapped in a 31-year-old's body. Like I'm just like a kid at heart still. So I was just like, anything? Like I can paint anything. Like let's go. So that was magical. What was the second part of the question?
Can I just say real quick that also one of the reasons I thought that was because you were just going like apeshit with it.
I was.
And then I was like, I'm like, he's playing an addict. you know, and he's just binging. And there's always a cause and effect. There's something you're
True.
giving something to take this much. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's something PB.
And I never told PB this, and this is why you cannot always trust PB's facial expressions. But Brad, when you first had said that, like I was dead set watching PB. I was just like, and when you said it, PB did like one of those like eyebrow raises, like like little T, the T thing, literally the T thing, and and I was just like, oh shit, I need to calm down. I'm gonna ruin this show. Like I'm gonna.
There were consequences behind the scenes. 100%, he was right.
I was using the. I was using the.
Like consuming
like
mana, which was memories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes and no. It like depends a little bit on roles and like how much pool you had, but like you had the potential.
But I was also getting stronger, right?
Yes.
It was like
it's like every time you used it, you got stronger, but there's a risk that it's like with anything, you skateboarding, you're going to get better, but you can also bail and break your arm, right? Like there.
Or you can ollie.
You were drawing it from Nibiru as well, though.
Yes.
So you were drawing power from Nibiru, which I feel like it's probably more like you were getting more skillful as opposed to stronger. You were still drawing the energy from somewhere.
Yes. And let's just say that like one of the options at the, like you could have you guys could have used your powers and become so strong that there wasn't an option at the end, right? Because all of your energy is coming from Nibiru, right? So it could have gone a very different direction if you had continued just like using that. So yeah. It was an option.
But one thing I would like, what was the second part of the question? I want to make sure I answer
is there
it.
anything that we didn't uncover about Dex that you're willing to share?
Yeah, Dex had a really dark arc behind him about his uncle who used to beat him growing up. So like he had this perfect childhood, but he never talked about his uncle who was like a major sports fan and like heavily into like, you know, football. And he was like the rough, tough, like uncle and would just like literally beat his ass. And like Dex's parents like never really knew, but like also like his dad was kind of like, come on, you're a man. You're a man. Like don't let well, he punches you around a little, no big deal. You're good, buddy. But my mom was like a very mother, like that's why I was always like I'm a spoiled kid. Like I had everything, I had money and all that. But one thing I do have to let the audience know, which I was not, and you can never go into role play with an idea. And I did, and I'm glad it didn't happen because it didn't happen because it wasn't natural.
Yeah.
But I have to, because I've been geeking out about this with PB, and it honestly, like, I think 2 nights ago, I was like sitting there just like tearing up thinking about it. And I was just like, so beautiful. Is you guys made shirts on it. Like some of Myth's friends made shirts. Dex ollied. And I was so excited in the last episode. It just never came to, it never happened. But I wanted to look at you all in the audience and say, thank you. I remembered that I ollied because you guys gave me.
Really? Is that all? We lost him.
Lost 2 people.
We lost.
Wow. Myth is gone too.
No, not Myth. Speth is gone. We lost Speth. We lost
Speth. Yeah. So holy shit, that's so creepy.
That was so creepy, right? As you're like, I remember.
Right when I'm talking to the audience.
Like crap.
Yeah, I ollied and fuck this whole screen up.
404, fourth wall not found.
Yeah, we'll try to get her back. Let's see if we
now
can
they know
get
we
her
use an
on.
overlay. Oh no.
Or just Dan's other computer if we have to.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, join
Can you
the
do
other
that for
computer.
now? Let me just see if we. Oh no, she lost power. She's sitting in the dark. Oh no.
Dan, can you turn on your other computer?
This is cool. Super new.
Oh yeah, I can hear. I got it.
So yeah, that was I was just excited to break that fourth wall, like how it has kind of been broken, but like just be able to like look out and just say thank you because like someone asked earlier if I like lost confidence. I did feel less confident for sure after losing that memory. And then like I got it back from I know it sounds so super cheesy, but the power of chat. And you guys remembering that memory, and like when a story's retold, it's just like you know, it wasn't you doing it, but it's like, hey, no, I saw you do that. It's like when your parents, I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but you don't remember going to Disneyland, but your parents are like, you went to Disneyland and you rode the roller coaster and you had so much fun, and you're like, I did, Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, I did. And you believe it yourself. So like that's kind of I just thought that was really nice and kind of beautiful.
It's very, very good, and I'm glad that you shared it. And we'll
I'm
wait.
so happy. I feel like
so good.
I feel like
I
Dex is now
also-
complete in my eyes. Like
yeah,
I just
I
like
also wanted that to happen, but you're right. It just didn't. There wasn't a moment
There was not
naturally
the-
where
it
it
wasn't
came
the
up.
time.
Yeah.
And I also thought that last, like the whole thing, I thought I was gonna be like a mess and sad. And
Yeah.
that happened a week or two before. Like it wasn't like that moment. I just love it. I love how everything comes to be. And once again, role play. You just let it happen, and you listen, and you let
Yeah.
people take it where they want to take it, and where you want to take it, and you find a middle ground, and it just works out perfectly. Very cool.
Magic.
So I have a couple of questions that I'm going to answer really quickly, and then we will wrap up with everybody picking. I'm going to go to each character, and everybody's going to say one thing you really liked about that character, one scene that you really liked about that character, and that's where we will end. So you guys go ahead and think about that right now while I answer some of these. If I missed any of your
Now-
questions, oh yes, go ahead.
One a piece. Like I do just one person.
No, everyone's going to do everybody. So basically we're going to start with Dex, and then everybody lists off one thing that they liked about Dex or found interesting, or
okay.
we're all going to go around.
I
And
had it the other way around in my
Yeah,
head. I was
no.
like, I gotta rattle off like 8 shit fucking things like right now.
no, yeah, it's like everybody's going to name one thing they liked about
cool.
each character. But while you guys are thinking about that, I'm just going to answer some of these. A lot of you have been asking what they actually did at the end of the show, and obviously we ended the show the way we ended it for a reason, so I cannot answer that question. A lot of you had questions for me about GMing, which I will happily answer, just not today. Next week I will be coming back with Peachy, and he and I are going to talk about like the stuff that we hid in the music and the music creation process, and I will answer any of your GMing questions at that time. I will answer this one though. How surprising or pleasing or disappointing was it when the players hit a critical roll or worked something out that then caused them to skip a huge portion of content that you may have written? The best thing in the entire world. I am very, very happy when that happens. When I have to throw things out, which happened in Nocturne 2, it's like exhilarating for me. It's a challenge when I'm like, okay, well now they're going here and I didn't expect that. I love it and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nocturne 2?
It happened in Nocturne as well.
Hold on, what?
Oh, I
Okay.
thought you were confirming it.
Do we get to be guest characters in Nocturne?
Yes.
Nocturne 2?
Nocturne 2?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
That's what she was just saying.
Yes.
But after 3
I heard her
episodes,
say
you'll be
that,
a
yes.
main character.
You'll be a main character within 3 episodes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just like
We
prepare
might
for
need
that
you to
one.
accent them. Okay,
Oh,
see you every week.
Every week.
Oh God. Okay. And then let's see. There was one other one that I wanted to answer. I'm so sorry I've lost it. Oh God. I'm sorry. I apologize. So
I just want to say that I've nailed the Nibiru theory from the beginning. So
Yeah.
just from episode 1.
Yeah, he did. He had
I
a
knew
he
it.
sent me a
Well, I don't
huge
know
thing
about
that I
episode
couldn't
1, but-
fucking respond to, and I was just like but now that oh, that was
Now
a
that it's over,
question.
I was like,
yeah, that was a question. Like, how many times did you guys think you'd figured it out before you actually figured it out? Was it a question that I thought was interesting.
I still don't think I figured it out.
I still
and I'm
don't think
not
I
kidding.
figured it
I'm
out.
not kidding.
Ah,
I didn't try.
that's exciting because it's not necessarily
fair.
something that needs to be figured out. It's like
Yeah.
the journey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go around and cover some of the characters. Let's start with who's first on our overlay. Adam. So we're going to start with the character of Adam, and I will go first. Love Soup. I'm just going to take that from you all. Love Soup was one of my favorite moments in the show.
Love
I ended up
Soup.
trying to draw an emote of Herb, the adorable sheep from one of the early episodes, eating Love Soup with a glowing mushroom in it. So yeah,
no.
loved the Love Soup.
adorable.
Thought that was really good.
Precious.
Oh, and I lied. I'm going to take another moment. The hello
You
for...
can't take 2.
Sorry.
Hey,
Okay,
hello,
yeah,
you already
somebody else
started.
has got to do it.
already
Yep, somebody
started.
else. Okay, I'm sorry. Nope, someone else go. Who's next on
The
the...
entrance. The entrance was amazing.
Oh.
There were so many other things, but I
That
just want to take
should
this
have
one
been
before someone
mine.
else does. The entrance and the intro to that character is just amazing. The whole it was the reveal, the immersion of just how everybody was in that moment, how cinematic it was, and it was just a camera, 2 cameras of both of you, and it was no like it was just I felt like I was there watching this epic moment of this character now just not like gently being introduced, but just making their presence known. And it was just in super contrast to what the character is super supportive, and like a support character from the all in all, but the aggressive start to such a it was just really well done. So well done.
I still show that. People come into my chat and they're like, what's gone? And I'm like, here, hang on. Let me just spoil you and also show you like one of the best moments ever.
The trailer.
Yeah, I show the opening to episode 5 like an asshole. I'm just like, here we go. We're going to watch it again, everybody. Yeah, it's good.
I think it's, for me, it's super impressive and super incredible how little Adam said and how influential he was in this whole show. And drove so much emotions from people and did so much for how little truly he was on the show.
And like every episode people are like, is Adam coming back? Like, where's Adam? Like, it was like every episode.
That person who is the most popular, but you get to see him once a month and you're just like, people are always asking you about him, you're like, I don't know, man, I don't know when he's showing up again. Like, he'll come by when he can, but that's it for me.
Well, plus he kicked a hole through someone's chest.
That was so cool.
There's not much cooler than that. Let's be real.
No.
Yeah, that was really fucking cool.
I think I just loved every scene with Adam and Laura. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Right. Adam was Q. Like, I hope there's a Q episode.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
That's pretty accurate.
I loved the soul you brought to Adam. For being a robot, he had a lot of soul, and I really liked that.
Yeah. That switch, because he's very robotic in the beginning, and then all of a sudden he drops it, and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, thank God. You know, it was really, really nice. Hiding a personality behind the robot. Interesting take on a robot. Brad?
I actually wrote something about everyone that I would like to just... Can I bang them all out at the end?
Yes, absolutely. I also did that. So
you have to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Oh no.
I'm gonna cry
I
now.
did not do this.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, next up, we are gonna go with the Cord. Cord's character, Run.
My favorite character.
Are we allowed to say that?
I will say it. I just literally, I don't know if I related with him. I don't know if it was the way he did things. I just connected. I wanted every scene to have Run in it. So easily my favorite character.
He was one of my favorites too. Came out of nowhere and I was just like,
yeah,
I love this man.
Yep.
I want only good things to happen to him. But I have to write the opposite. Every week it was like a tear fest. Anybody else have anything to say? Dan, you want to go? Oh, this is probably tough.
A powder keg of potential adventure.
Dan, you always make me cry. Just like consistently, and I'm just grateful you pull emotions out of my cold void of a heart. Like, for as
no
subtle
easy
as
task.
you are.
Yeah.
It's not. But you know what I mean? Like, you're so subtle. Like, you're not, like, I'm crazy and I'm out there all the time, but you're so subtle with your little things, and I'll be listening and I'm like, oh, what's that dagger in my heart happening right now? Magic.
Are we on somebody right now,
We're
PB?
on,
Or are we
we're
just
on Run right now. But
Yeah, sorry. I missed that. You said my name, and I'm like,
I asked
wait,
Dan, I was asking.
I missed the segue here, and I'm really scared now.
I was asking.
Sorry,
I
and
was
me
asking.
just like talk about
verbalizing my
Dan.
brain.
It's okay.
I was asking Dan for his
that was-
one thing about Run, and
Oh
then
my
yeah,
God.
it's okay,
I was
it's
just
okay, it's
Dan,
okay,
I'm
it's
like, wait,
okay.
am I talking? Are people talking about me? I'm very confused. I think I mem-wrecked myself. That's one of the things Run took took from me. No, I mean, like it was lovely being able to RP with that lovely Mythomatic man.
You guys did a
He's,
lot of tough topics too.
Yeah.
You covered a lot of rough ground, and you've never RP'd together before, right?
No.
No?
This was our first time. We got to, I mean, we knew each other beforehand from
Yeah.
conventions and whatnot and
Yeah,
mutuals.
we make
but-
sure that we weren't wearing the same bow ties.
Yeah, but you're not.
Yeah, we had to make sure. Back when I had a beard, it was like, is that Myth or is that Dan regularly at conventions? And we'd be like, yeah, we both wear bow ties. Great, like, nothing wrong with that.
Not that I. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was for. I think it was that. Honestly, you touched on it the most, PB. We got to have off screen established a lot of background for our characters, so that when we had hard conversations, it didn't feel like it was the first time.
Yeah.
Even though it may have been the first time for Run.
Yeah.
So that, because I mean, I guarantee you, he wouldn't have kept those conversations ever. You know, hard conversation about his drug abuse, he would have just made that go away. And so it was Reckon constantly having to repeat himself, which was just a very interesting dynamic. And having Reckon know that is the first time he's hearing it. But yeah, so I don't know. It was great being able to. I loved that we got to work off the scenes to establish character backgrounds consistently. That was great. That was a super fun thing to RP with.
Thank you. CK, what's your favorite thing about Run or moment?
Not that I
yep.
want to rush things,
Yes.
but John's got a jet soon.
Oh
so
shit! Oh, for
Of
real?
Of course I do. Of course I
QC.
fucking do.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
just love
do
him
him
so
next.
much.
Oh, good call.
Okay.
No,
Good
we can
call.
continue this. We'll just
Yeah,
do him
yeah,
next.
yeah. Okay. We will do Dex next.
Well, we can just
Honestly,
move on from me. We can go right to John.
when you
No.
I will keep.
I'm trying to compliment Myth here, motherfuckers. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, get him.
You dope as fuck. You shocked the fuck out of me with this RP. Like, not that I thought you were bad, but you really brought an A+ game, and you made me piss my pants with your talent. You made me cry a lot because you were really tragic. And there was one scene I was gonna bring up, and now I can't remember it. Damn it, you just dope. That's
He
it.
just memwrecked you. You're good.
You're great.
Thank you.
I've been memwrecked. It's happened.
KPP, what about you? What's your favorite?
You will
Bit
always
or
be
moment?
my favorite druggie. And
Oh.
he has a soft spot in my heart. Like I was rooting for you so hard as your
Yeah.
arc at the end. I just wanted you to find that confidence in yourself. So I don't know. You did an amazing job, Myth. You really did.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at anything that you two did. I'm laughing at Brad's comment in the chat. Sorry. Bradley, what's your favorite moment?
Show you later.
I'll tell you.
Oh, right, that's right. I'm
He's
so
gonna
sorry.
go on his list.
He's got
Pack?
his
sad
soapbox
that John
ready.
is
He's
leaving.
waiting
Pack's already
for it.
answered. Zeke,
no
what
idea.
about you?
It was Ronald and the Great Marini.
Yep. So good. That was such a good moment.
I just love that he's like the Great Marini, and I'm Ronald.
It was
Beautiful.
Really, really, really good. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
that was a
let's-
buddy comedy in the making.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do John next. Let's go ahead and do Dex. However, can I say something? Actually, you guys go first. You guys go first.
Okay, before you go, let me
Yeah.
just say, I'm so sorry that I have to leave early. It is the worst.
It's okay.
You have no idea how I want to just spend another hour, and then when we get off stream, just talk to you guys. It kills me on the inside. First of all, that usually it's just obviously the kids and the wife. Just got to go help out. But today is my 4-year wedding anniversary, so I have dinner plans, and we have a sitter who's here for
Yeah.
only 2 hours. So that's the
Go.
only reason. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, good. As long as you guys know I'm not like,
Reason for me.
peace out, say nice things, I'm leaving. Like, no.
Yeah, all right. No. I
Sorry.
really loved the just the leadership that has always been hiding within Dex, and how he always wanted to help and step up and to either prove himself or to prove that other people can do their and they to show that other people have the potential that they don't know they have. Your Dex was an inspiration to a lot of characters, and he was an inspiring leader, and he is the leader that Orin thinks and wishes he could have been.
Wow.
Really well done.
I'm okay. KPP.
Jesus.
Sorry.
My love.
I know. First of all, Lore loves you to pieces, but like just your ability to like bring out the best in people, I really loved that. And honestly, getting to RP with you is one of my favorite things from this campaign. So I adored Dex. I'm just, I don't know, just that whole Lore and Dex ending made me so happy because it like gave her the ending that she needed. So I don't know. I'm just grateful for you for that. So I don't know. Dex is probably my favorite character. I don't know. So I don't know. John, you're awesome.
We're allowed. We're allowed.
Thank you.
Dan?
Yeah.
One through.
I'm on the same page this time. Yeah, with I don't know. I think my favorite thing about Dex, which also was totally with you. I mean, you as well, John, because I think there was some. I'm gonna put quotes around it with bleed, but in a positive way. Just being so, especially the first like 10 episodes, so excited at all times, both as Dex and you, because you would just be like, as Dex, what's going on? And then the episode would end, and we would, what's going on? Every time, like it was a delight being able to, like, again, we didn't get to RP really that much together, but watching your excitement and then as a result, Dex's excitement was a treat.
Thank you. CK, what
Kind of
about you?
That was I was gonna say your enthusiasm,
Yeah.
like excitement kind of took it, but like there's something about feeding a group of people. Like sometimes you'd be tired or something and you'd just be punching it with like craziness. And I was like, I can't be tired right now. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like honestly, your enthusiasm to the project and your commitment to Dex.
Yeah.
Like Dex was kind of a goofy character and you still took him very seriously and you still gave him depth, which is not easy to do. And I thought that was really beautifully done. Eloquent.
Thank you. Zeke?
Now, are you just doing about Dex or John or both or either?
Let's just do both now. It's kind of morphed into that. So
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Whatever you'd like.
There's something you look for in a role-playing person and a improv person or something like that. It's, I don't know what it's called, but I just call it the willingness to play. Super important. And I can tell John had it. I don't know how much experience you have doing tabletop or whatever. But it seemed like I could point to like the perfect attitude for it. You have the perfect attitude for stuff like this. Like you come in, you're excited to play and you're willing to play, which is something that is hard to teach. It's hard to teach people like it's okay to put yourself out there and risk looking like a fool, because most of the time you won't. And it's great. And I was really happy to play with someone like that. So there you go.
Right back at you.
Beautiful. I also had something to say to you, John, that I wrote, but I'm going to say it at the end as well because I'm probably going to go nuclear. So you'll just have to watch it later. I'm so sorry to do that to you.
No,
But
that's
Yeah.
probably way better for me.
I have something to say to everybody. So, and I don't want to cry yet. So
I'll say something nice about John.
sure.
And this isn't. This,
Like your fucking press
reluctant.
secretary was like,
Yeah.
all right, here he is to apologize. Come on out. Say you're sorry.
Did you record the apology, post it to Twitter, and move on?
well, he's gonna leave. So
Yeah.
and really, it's not so much about this. It's just because I've had the pleasure of GMing for John as well in something nowhere near as good as this, but.
That's not true.
John, Zeke is dead on. Like, if I could have a table that's just full of Johns, it would. I know, and I can guarantee it would be the best campaign ever. That's not an attack on anyone else or anything or anyone I've ever GM'd for. It's just John is like the perfect player, and I was spoiled very early on in my GMing career by having John at the table, and. Yeah, I think it's dead on what Zeke was saying. You're like the perfect player, and you're so willing to go at stuff and so good at doing it. and it's such a fucking joy to, and now PB understands, and I think we've all role played with you, but when you're GMing for someone who is like John, it's just so nice to have someone who's always on task and knows what they're doing, and you just find the flow of the show and the game, and you ride it, and everyone gets to experience that wave. So I want to just confirm basically what Zeke is saying. That's all.
Thank you, man. Thank you, guys.
That's all.
And I'm gonna really quickly just give my quick just to all
Anything
of
that
you.
you want to say, yeah.
Elspeth, who is not here, is just a person I looked. She's like literally my sister. I've been very close with her on Twitch for a long time, and she knows that girl can do anything. That girl's so fucking talented. Like, even outside of just like role playing and stuff, voices and all that acting, she is just an incredible human being. I'm just gonna go down the list real quick. PB, I'm just gonna say this right now. This is the best thing I've ever been a part of in my life as far as a show. This is Brad, and that's no offense to you. That's a whole different ballgame.
Literally, I take zero offense.
I'm spoiled now. I don't even know if I can, like, I look at normal D&D and I'm like, okay, maybe. Like, that sounds okay. But seriously.
Welcome to
incredible, incredible. And I just can't wait to do more.
Oh, thank God.
And that's John. We had to cut him off. PB cut him off. She couldn't handle the compliments.
Dan, you shocked the shit out of me. Don't lag me out.
You cut off.
Okay.
You like that.
You were lagging. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I am lagging. Internet, please. I just need to get these words out. Internet. Okay. Dan, you shocked the shit out of me. I'm judging at first. I was just like, okay, it's Dan. You were creepy to funny to scary to nice to, and it all, and just, you hit so many points as an actor and as an improviser that just blew my mind, man. And it is just so many different feelings from you. Crazy. KPP, you know, that honestly, like I loved.
For fuck's sake, internet.
Wow.
Your
my true love.
Portrayal.
Still thinking.
Destroyed his anniversary.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was waiting for you to go happy anniversary.
As Dex,
so I'm so sorry.
Also you as a person. I just think you're a really fucking awesome.
Oh God.
Person.
Oh, you're back. You're back. You cut out.
You cut out again on KPP.
Shit. What did I cut out on? What did I cut out on?
You said I love lore, but.
Okay. Oh wow, that's good. I love lore, and then I said, but like even more than that is like I love you as a person. Like as a person, I just think you're a fucking really cool person. That just through this show, I'm excited to just know you forever as just a person. You know, like play games and chill and like I love that. And Zeke, man, I think I told you when you left is like, I just remember partying with you early on, had some drinks. Just shot the shit, and it was just fucking homie status. But like, you're so much deeper than that, and you're so much smarter than just a bro who parties and drinks, and you're just such a deep oh yeah, I can't tell everyone. You're just such a deep fucking person, and I really respect that about you. It's just insane. Pax, I'm more scared of you than anyone. I think you are too good. I'm not kidding. I'm intimidated. I always look to Pax to see if he liked my things so I can like smile and be like, oh my God, he liked it? Okay. Fuck, I like want to impress him. I don't know why. There's some people in my life I just want to impress, and I want to impress.
Same.
Like I don't know why. I just look to you as like this like crazy, like I just think you can do everything. And if I'm wrong, so be it, but I fucking love you, dude. Brad, you have been like one of my best buddies on Twitch. You're literally the opposite of me. We should fucking hate each other. The way you played, I think you don't think you're good, but you are so fucking good. And I think you know that because everyone tells you that. And they should keep telling you that, because I just can't wait to jam more games with you and more things, and hopefully more real life hangouts over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Everyone in this cast, I think I will know forever. And this is not this is not goodbye. This is just, hey, when's our next show? Truly, that's how I feel about it. And please tell me I hit everyone, right? Did I?
I think so. I don't
Okay.
think I think you hit everybody.
And I think
It's
I'm
fine
leaving
if
right
you
when the
hate
crying
me.
starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, now go
and
fuck
get-
your wife.
Yep.
Yeah, go
Bye.
away. Go.
You got 2 hours.
Go.
Think you missed classy, Katie?
Katie!
You may
Katie,
have-
yes! Holy shit, Katie, listen to me. I knew it. Nope, don't leave me. You put your headphones back on. You put your headphones back on. I don't care if she can hear me. She'll listen to it back. She'll listen to it back.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Listen, Katie, and I think many of you might agree with me on this, is I have my wife texting me like, hey, honey, it's 4:20, 25, 4:27. That's why. Katie will, you guys will agree with me. Katie, I was like, creeped out by her character at first. I was like, I don't know about her character. I don't know what to think. And then the last scene that she did was like, broke me apart more than any fucking scene of the whole show. It hit me so hard. It fucking tugged at my heartstrings. It killed me. Her character killed me. Katie, your character ruined me.
I can tell. You should go have sex with your wife now.
Listen, I know. I fucking love you all, and that was the most incredible thing ever. And seriously, thank you all.
Thank you all, and good night. Now go and your wife.
Yeah, you got 2 hours.
I love you.
It's going to be a marathon. You won't see him for a year after he recovers from this.
He'll be limping back on camera.
Oh my god.
We'll leave the stream up since he doesn't know. We'll just see the state he returns in.
I think we should, if anybody has anything that they would like to say, I think now is probably the time to do that to each other. And then we will wrap it up.
Oh, we're not gonna.
Oh, Jesus, I totally forgot we were in the middle of that. Does anybody know where we left? I'm sorry, I'm broken already.
We just ended with John after.
Yeah.
Pax
Oh, so we
and-
got to do Speth. I know she's not here, but we got to talk about Autumn. So everybody go around and shotgun your favorite moment with Autumn or your favorite thing about Autumn.
Gazelle.
Yep, that was a good one.
Gazelle's taken.
She's just so like the way that she talked. I just wish I could have more conversations with her.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to Autumn all the time, and I want
I'll
her to be my
second
friend.
that.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked her perspective, which we really only saw super early on, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of her spiritual take on the world because she seemed pretty zen in the beginning too, and I really liked that. My favorite moment I think is Bad Boob. I gotta say the Bad Boob. That bit was that was my favorite.
I think I really liked how brave she was. Like Autumn was probably one of the bravest characters. She was always uncovering things, not by figuring them out like Blake would, but just by trying it and like not trying it like Dex would, but just going all in. I think my favorite moment.
Heroism by a solid
Yeah,
mole.
with the halberd
you know?
and everything too. Like she was
the
always
halberd,
willing to.
Waking up to reality. That whole figuring out about the cosmos, unlocking that. Like that whole thing was, and it wouldn't have been done by probably any other character because no one would have jumped off the deep end like Autumn does. And I think it was really.
You know what else was interesting about Autumn that I'm just now realizing? She taught people. She taught Adam how to play a game, and then at the very end, she was teaching you how to play a game. Yeah, she was.
Taught me how to dance.
Yeah, she taught you how to
Yep.
dance. Yeah,
Yep.
she did that a lot. That was a recurring theme for her.
Yeah.
Another
I was
favorite
gonna s-
moment? I don't know who
I was
said
going to
what.
say it was
Yeah.
Bad Boob.
Yeah, Bad
for
Boob.
me as well.
That's fine. Yeah,
Just,
it's a good
just
one.
because it was Lauren Reckon trying to like.
Yeah.
There's something strange about them. We have to work together and figure this out. And it's like, don't come in. I'll show you my bad boob. It's like
what?
I don't know. Like it was so hard not to just break character because I was not expecting any of that. Oh,
Zeke, do you have one?
We honestly
Yeah.
did not have a lot of on-screen time together, I guess, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. So like the times that I remember have already been mentioned, like the when she was shape-shifting
Yeah.
into different things, that was always enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, like, I think the DMV, like the very first couple of episodes, was fun to watch Autumn's character like figure it out,
Yeah.
like figure out what's going on, like, and get like confused about things that didn't add up, you know. I think she played that the confused confused good-hearted southerner pretty well.
Yeah, she did. KPP, did you have one?
I just said I wanted to talk to her all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
Still
out
do.
of sorts. So
Yeah, I
forgive
still
me
want
if I double ask. Another cool moment that I really liked with Autumn was the medic one where she was sewing up and she used that memory with her grandma to do it successfully. I thought that was a really cool Autumn moment. And I know she's not here. What about Blake Lucian? What are our favorite moments with Blake? Sorry, Brad.
Yep. Hot is fun.
Okay.
I'll wait till he gets
He can
back.
still hear us.
Yeah. Oh, he can still. He's got the headphones on, so he can hear you, unless he turns them off. Yeah, there
I
you
just
go.
liked any conversation that Reckon and Blake had, honestly, any of those, because it was so hard to RP a person who's just like, it wasn't yes and, but it was. A lot of it was like, here's the things. And he'd be like, no, but he'd give reasons and like say why, but it was always trying to cut off or like, you're wrong. This is why you're wrong.
Yeah.
It was so combative, but it made for very, very good conversation in like between the two characters. Cause it was like, your worldview is wrong. This is why it's wrong.
Yeah.
Even it's like, well, do you have proof? What's your world? He's like, I don't have any proof, but you're still wrong because of that. And it was I don't know. I loved it because it was so challenging.
Yeah. You could always count on him for the title of the episode too. He'd be quiet for most of the episode and then drop a line like every conversation is currency and you'd be, what? Like you had really, really, really good lines, which I liked. Cord, did you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment? There were so many, honestly. I really do like Blake. I really liked I am a twin. So I also felt like there was a lot that resonated there as well. It seemed like the practical thinking of things. And he responds the same way probably I would if I was ever in that situation. Of course, he's more of extreme, I think, but also just the dryness. There was a lot of humor behind Blake and the way Brad portrayed Blake, that it's a lot of fun to either give it a rewatch, maybe on some of those scenes where you're like, what, Blake, cool it, calm down. Go back and give it a rewatch because it's actually really funny. There are just really dry deliveries, which were always so awesome. And I was laughing
I had
every
to buy
time.
this at a Macy's.
Yeah, exactly. Those kinds of things where it's just like, what? It's just that underlying humor I've always really appreciated about Brad in putting it in Blake. So like it's funny for Blake to say, or it's weird that Blake would say it, but it was always fun because it was bits of Brad sticking in into Blake, which I really loved.
And if you want more bits of Brad sticking in, just give me a call.
Okay.
My last chance. I don't get a hit on him anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What about you, KPP?
I feel like Lore would not have been the same character had Blake not been in this campaign. I don't know, like I've been thinking a lot the last week and stuff. Like I told Brad I was really grateful I got to RP with him again. Like my first show ever RPing was on Sector 49 with Brad, and Brad intimidated the hell out of me. I was like, I don't know who this man is. He talks a lot and I'm afraid of him. And cut to like 2 years later, I don't know. I really enjoyed this different dynamic because you were so different than Ketchup, so different than Irish. And I just think in a lot of ways, I think I have more of just like a really thankful feeling that I got to RP with you again. I don't know, like makes me weirdly emotional for some reason, but I'm glad to know you, Brad.
CK. Do you have a favorite Blake moment?
Anytime I yelled at him. No, I think the last moment when we were having our final moment when he said the idealism and pragmatism thing really clicked something for me that I appreciated that we ended on that note, like the yin and the yang of it.
Yeah. CK, do you have one? I'm trying to
Not
help
really.
KPP here.
Just kidding.
Really.
Would have been a good place. I mean, who's Brad? God, I gotta learn who's in this show now. Nah, dude, Brad, like you fucking blew me away, man. I only know you as the sarcastic asshole that jokes about suicide with me a lot. And to watch you like break down and like be like this stoic, dead inside human was really bizarre. It was very much like a flip coin of who I just knew from your streams, which was pretty fucking cool to watch. I couldn't do it. I could never play a role like that was so like stoic and quiet and just allowing and being observing. And then you kind of, I think I said this to Zeke like one of the first times you were ever in, like I got to RP with you. I said you reminded me of like Silent Bob. Like you would just like watch things and then fucking drop knowledge. And I'd be like, what? He was paying attention. So that was pretty dope. I was impressed.
Thank you, Zeke. Favorite moment with Blake?
I don't know if I have a favorite moment, but I do definitely have like the thing I really liked about how you played someone you didn't like you probably wouldn't like that person. Is I always like it when people tell the truth. It's always interesting. It's always an interesting choice to tell the truth at the behest of anyone else's feelings. That logical part of your brain. I tried it one time when I was, I don't know, newly out of high school. I think I was 19, 20 maybe. I saw someone at a bar or something. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tell them exactly what I I'm gonna be straight and truthful. She comes up to me and she goes, hey, oh man, it's been a long time. How you been? I went, you don't have to do that. You don't care. I know you don't care. And she was like, but I do. And it ended poorly, very poorly. But to an outside observer, that shit would have been fucking hilarious. And that's Blake.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Blake's like, you should go away from me because you're not helping with what I'm doing right now. Like, it was so entertaining to watch those choices be played out. So, yeah, bravo on that for sure.
Pax, did you have a favorite Blake moment?
Well, I never role played with him once in the show, but
I know. I'm
it's
sorry.
every time he gets underneath someone else's skin, and he's like, all right, come on, what are you gonna bring back? Verbal jousting. I love the verbal jousting. And while everyone is swimming this direction, Brad in his mind's like, fuck that, I'm going that way. And it's for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
It's to make it more interesting. It's to challenge his fellow cast and to see what they can come up with. Because I think Brad, he won't admit it, but I think he always wants to see the best out of everybody and see what they could potentially do. And he thinks about the big picture a lot. And you come out of working with Brad vastly more talented and better because he teaches you so much about what's important. And he's an incredible team player. And he's very passionate about it, regardless of what he says. He's always like, like he always hides what he's, but yeah. He's a very strong team player. And as Brad's individual himself, I owe him everything when it comes to being on Table Stories. So if it wasn't for him, I don't even know why he recommended me. I can't remember how that started.
I was looking for people that could handle horror, and he recommended you. And it was like, and I said to him, and I love you, Sam, but I said to him, I was like, I have no idea who this guy is, and like, I feel really uncomfortable jamming for someone I've never met before because I'm gonna fuck up this show. This show's gonna be horrific. And he said, you have no choice. Put him in your show. Trust me. And I was like, okay. Fucking gold. I have Brad to thank for you as well. Because I was nervous. I was like, I don't want to put someone I don't know in a horror show that might fuck them up. And you just met me where I was. It was very good. For Nocturne,
Okay.
Yeah. For Nocturne.
So yeah, I owe everything for him. He technically, between you and Brad primarily, just like, if it wasn't for this and getting into this, I would have been done with RP 100%. I would have never touched it again with a 10-foot pole ever. So I owe my love for this again, thanks to you guys. Solely.
Maury, right? We're on Maury now. Yes, I'm going by the overlay because we already did run, right? Did we go do run?
Yes, we went do
Yeah,
run.
Okay.
Here's-
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Okay, Maury, hold it together, PB.
Hold on, let me just relax.
Yeah.
Tell me how great I am.
I struggled so much. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And KPP, I'm very glad we're friends.
Me too.
The potato. I'm taking it.
Potato?
Yeah,
Yep,
do it.
That's the best. That's one of my favorite fucking moments of all time. And just the way Maury was portrayed in those first couple episodes. That crazy Maury, man, I fucking loved it. So good.
I really loved I spoke about the bravery that Autumn had done, but I was talking about the bravery of the character and what the character had done. But I think the bravest of us taking these leaps and these choices as a player, I would say your bravery and making these strong choices and then going all in with them, even like through every one shot, you were 100% in Maury, and Maury had all of your energy, and there was no two ways about it. And it was awesome. It was really awesome to see. And I think my favorite moment or my favorite episode was probably the Dust Veil one shot where we got to build a ship. That was really awesome. And to see you play around with the lore and to see you play in that playground of what Maury is and what Maury would create if he was left alone in a world of magic was super cool to see. So thank you for that.
I loved all your memories, like how you just, when we all had like those shared memories, that was so cool how you brought them to life. I just would love to see how your brain works. You're just like a powerhouse when it comes to RP, like vision, what is it? Not visionary. That's not a word.
Yeah, it is. Visionary.
That's a word?
Visionary.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I love the way that your brain explains things. And I love RPing with you, Zeke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah. Gosh, I think at least favorite Maury moment would have been I mean, for a funny one was the fact that one, your prop work. I mean, most everyone here had amazing prop work, but the flashback where you pulled out those other potatoes, like I found these on Earth. The origin of potato was just
Oh my god.
one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And you just kept eating the raw, man.
Yeah.
I paid for that shit later. I'm gonna let you know.
I know you did.
Right in like this area right here was not very happy with me.
There was no way,
Like I
but
said,
commit to the cause, man. Oh, but in terms, I just wanted to really quick, Zeke. I don't know if I've ever expressed it. Sorry, I'm gonna get little emotional. I have looked up to you from before I started streaming. You were like the first person I ever watched. You're why I'm on Twitch. In general, I don't know if I've ever been able to say that. People say don't meet your heroes. I get to RP with one of mine, and it has been an absolute pleasure the last 2 years. So thank you so very much. It's just from real quick.
Oh shit.
So that's mine. Thank you.
Can't talk right now. I'm sorry.
I'm bowing out of this one.
CK, you're up. Don't bow out.
I don't know. I love him and stuff. That
Favorite,
was sad. I mean, the
favorite
obvious.
Maury moment then.
Favorite Maury moment. Oh god. I gotta pick some other than potato because that was too good. I mean, it was too much. Oh man, it's the one shot when we were creating the whatever in Dust Veil, and the back and forth between Speth and Zeke's character, Speth and Maury like arguing with each other, and Speth's character, Timmy was her name, I think.
Timmy was at the end.
What was her name?
I can't remember her character's name.
Anyways, she was so sassy, like her little fix-it gnome self, and like her just getting in his face and trying to fight him, and that was just the dichotomy of that. It was really fun to see Maury as fun. Like I like seeing him a little bit lighter because we always see him like, either very confused or searching for something or very serious. And so you saw this moment of him like, people aren't just listening to me. Like the frustration was cool. I really liked that episode. That's probably my favorite. Also, I mean, the obvious, it's a blessing to role play with your boyfriend. I mean, that's pretty dope. He's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool.
Did I miss anyone? Pax, what about you? Favorite Maury moment? I don't know if you two ever had a moment on screen either. I'm
No,
so sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
I was never with Pax
No.
I'm
either.
an
No,
asshole.
CK
same.
I know.
and Zeke, we
And
never,
Brad.
we were
Yeah.
never collided. Yeah, and
Sorry.
it happened. Yeah.
Happens.
But as Zeke is a person, his passion, prep, craft, and creativity toward the art of D&D is awe-inspiring and quite alarming. The amount of effort that he puts toward even what one would argue like a smaller character, he's 110% in.
Yep.
And he and you don't even know it. Like he's so humble about it too, where he sits back and he just does it, and that's it.
There's like
and
Maury has
it's-
3 pages of beautifully written memory.
And anything and everything that Zeke does, he just gives it 110%, and it's phenomenal. And any show that I ever want to be a part of or do, I want Zeke there every time if he'll have me. Like he's so easy to work with. He can read the room quickly and effectively, and he's like, I got you. He'll back you up no matter
Yes.
what the next step is, and you can rely on him. And that's a trait that is very admirable, and I relish and cherish the fact that I've had the privilege to be doing this stuff with someone who at that wavelength I can work with so easily. And I love that. Yeah.
Real quick, truth be told, you and CK during Nocturne immediately rubbed me the wrong way and made me do some like self-analysis. Like, why are they rubbing me the wrong way? And it's because like you're good at things that you're good at things that I want to be better at. And it's my jealousy. So thank you.
Sorry.
Someone make a fart noise
Yep.
or something. Jesus.
Fart. Who's next? Do we
I
have
don't think
anyone?
it's jealousy. I think it's just your passion for the craft. Always want to get better and better and better. I don't think it's jealousy. I don't think you do that type of level of stuff. You're just very, very. There's a very talented person who always wants to just keep going up because you self-deprecate a little bit, but that's not a lot. But you do that to try to push yourself farther. It's a creative process that people go through, and you're just astounding to work with, and it's impressive. It's incredibly impressive.
Did we do lore already? I'm so sorry. I am barely keeping it together right now.
We have not.
We have not. I think lore's the last one, right?
Really?
Did we do?
Again?
We didn't do
CK
reckon.
yet.
I quit.
we have to go with
I was just gonna say.
I was just gonna fucking let it go. I mean, can we just?
I was
quit?
I was
I
going
just
to too,
don't care.
but
Just fucking kill me.
No, but look, CK,
was
we,
just like,
we haven't done reckon
Where's
either.
my butthole to put
We
on
haven't
the
done
mirror?
reckon either. It's not just you. I forgot lore and reckon and you, and it's not that I forgot. I'm just like literally trying to not vomit. Let's start
Was
with
your
lore.
idea,
I
Pumpkinberry?
know. Let's start with lore.
I feel like we should start with CK because
Yeah,
I'm
let's do it.
good.
CK, we're
No.
starting with Violet. Let's
Wow,
start with
she's
Violet.
super annoying. Typecast into creepy characters. Next character.
Excuse you. I didn't typecast you. I said you can play
I
whoever you want.
typecast myself.
Yeah, okay.
I love KPP's ability to
No,
cry.
we're doing Violet right now. We're doing Violet right
Doing
now.
Violet.
I don't
Yep.
even know who's. That's a child, and you're disgusting.
So one of my favorite moments with Violet is actually oh geez, I was gonna pick 2 again, but I'm breaking the rules
Nope,
multiple
not
times now. Okay, is the realization that she what had been done to her, the mermaid bit, because that wasn't originally planned from the beginning, right? That was something that we decided would be really cool a couple of
Mid-run.
episodes in. Yeah. And I thought that really brought an interesting aspect to her. And watching you play someone who has to kind of it's almost like you and Dan were playing mirrored characters but the opposite of each other, right? Like you were trying to reconcile your machine parts or your creature parts to be more human again, and he was doing the opposite. And I thought that that was very interesting that your characters had kind of relied on each other. So it was really cool watching you play Violet that way and battling back and forth between the animal and the human.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I love seeing the stern reality within Violet and the stern reality of portraying her as well. I loved the mermaid episode, or the scientist one shot episode, the origin story, I should call it. I loved that. It was super awesome, and to see you just really, because we could tell that you were really into it and really loving it, and it was super awesome to see you thrive in those moments and to enjoy it, and to have that darkness that makes you who you are and who your character is, right? So it's just really awesome to see that. So really great, of course.
She's
Thank
a
you.
broken child.
I feel like for
You did
me,
a great job telling it.
watching you grow from the first few episodes to the end was one of my favorite arcs of the show. I also admire you to no end because you give it your all. Like on Nocturne and Gone, like you just come into role play and you're just like, I'm throwing everything at it. And I just love that about you. So it's just, you leave me in awe a lot whenever I watch you, RP.
Thanks.
You're also never not in character. If you are on the screen, you are in character. Your face is representing the exact same faces that she would as well. Like you were never off, which was always awesome. So that was super cool to help us be immersed as well. So thank you.
I want to speak to that point because that is absolutely true, and it's something that I think goes well underappreciated. Because if you've ever directed a play or anything like that, and then you look at the people who are up front, but then you see the chorus or whatever they're called, whatever they're doing in the background, and you pick out a couple of them that are there, they're present. That's CK. Like that's my lady. She's always present when she's there.
She's also really good at the tension breaking comedy. Like she's got a very quick wit, and she will just slap in lines here and there, and they're fucking hysterical. I can't. That one shot, the D&D episode, would not have been the same without you and your one-liners. So good.
God.
So good.
And
Thanks, guys.
Just to put a tag on my praise, seeing Katie grow from not just in this show, but grow from Nocturne until now, like as a role player, just stunning to see.
You love her.
Well, I do love her, of course I do, but like to see like to see a talent get fostered and get like it's like watching I don't know how to put it, like watching a spider like molt out of its
Did you just say molt?
Skin, like, you know, and grow and leave behind the old shell.
Hitting all the buzzwords.
Seems oddly relevant.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good analogy though. Like, like Nocturne, she grew and then she shed her shell, and this grew some. Just watching that progression has just been wonderful.
Thanks. Also,
she's the most beautiful and funniest and loveliest, and she smells the best of anybody on this cast. You're all trash next to her.
I don't know what he did wrong, but I'll find out and let everyone know.
I didn't do anything wrong. Can't a guy say something nice and build up points for when he does something wrong?
Yes, she's just
Future
quick,
planning.
Funny. She's funny.
Like a mutual fund.
I do that. It works.
God damn it,
Exactly.
Dan.
Can my nice things that I've said build interest? Can I, after 5 nice things, like after a month, can I have one more nice thing just banked?
Man bank. The man bank.
No. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate the super awkward compliments.
I liked that we got to be friends in character because you were the
Oh my
only
God, I
character that
know.
Reckon was like actually could
Yeah.
count on not hating him. Which was a stark contrast from Nocturne. So it was kind of a nice it
Yeah.
was definitely a nice if I'm in a scene with Violet, Reckon can like let his guard down a little bit, which was neat.
I think this is the first time we've ever got to be friends in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
Pax, did you have a favorite Violet moment? I don't know if you met
You
Violet either.
never know.
God damn it, I'm
never
sorry.
peed.
Just
It's in the same pool.
I'm gonna
It's just in the
eject
same
myself
pool.
from my chair. So
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah.
Classy Katie, her vulgaric comedy, her comedic wit, and how sharp she is.
She's very sharp.
Is awe-inspiring, and I can gladly say I'm one of the very few people who got to grab her and do some role play in a different game with her, and how sharp and witty she is, and how let loose she can be in a situation. I ended up watching back the VODs of the people that she was interacting with, and they didn't know, they couldn't keep up with her. She
Yeah.
was just constantly spewing these comedic lines to the point of where they didn't even know how to react with her anymore. She was just blowing these people who have been doing it for months and months and months out of the
Can we
water.
watch this? Where is this?
They're probably all deleted by now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah, okay.
all fucking gone.
They're
It was
probably
way
all
back
gone.
in the day.
But she
Okay.
played my. I was so fortunate to. She got to play my trailer trash type of sister, and it was one of the funniest days I have had in such
was
a
pretty
long
dark.
time.
Holy fuck!
Remember that scene?
I was unsure of what you were talking about until you said that, and yes, agree.
The police officers, the people that were role playing police, they
Oh,
did
God,
not
it was
know
so
how
good.
to handle her, and they do this day in and day out. They've met all walks of life in role play, and then CK just comes out of nowhere and just stumps them, and they had no idea what to do. That's
is
just the type
very
of comedic
fast.
wit that CK has, and it's hard to. It's like playing ping pong with a Chinese professional. You know what I mean? It's just like, where's it coming from? She's already like 6 ahead. She's just that crazy good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome, CK.
Okay, now I'm not gonna fuck it up. Lore. And I'm looking at the goddamn overlay this time, and we'll start. Pax, you want to go first?
An emotional ocean that you want to release so that you can experience it, but you, god damn it, you don't want to feel it because she's so good at it. She can
Word.
take those emotions that are on her shoulders and pour them, and she delivers emotional scenes so well that it's incredibly hard to stay professional. It is like super hard to stay in character because you want to break character to feel with her, and nobody does it quite like Katie Peter plays can do, like, to the point of where you're trying to stay true, but she floodgates you, and you're waiting for it too. It's a dam.
You know it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's a dam that builds up, and when you get to know her
Watching a
characters like that,
leaky
you
dam.
know it's there. He just takes that one brick to pull out of that wall. And you get it. It's good. It's good.
I agree. I kept trying to think of like one specific scene where you made me cry, but I can't think of which scene it was. I think it might have been the fucking Adam scene.
Yeah, that
But
one.
afterwards, we were doing shout outs, and I remember PB got to me and I just said no because I couldn't speak. I was like, no, shout out, Classy Katie, whatever. And I was just like bawling into because I mean, that you so perfectly conveyed the emotion of I'm going to cry if I think about it, of losing your best friend, like that core human that you live for and you exist for, and that loss. And when when you said I should have been there with him, I was like, I'm gonna cry again. It was such a good scene. It was a really good scene. I'm gonna keep it together.
I mean, I had to come out and give a fucking emergency hug. Like, I've never
I was so
felt
sad.
compelled to do that in my life.
It was so sad. And then afterwards, you were like, actually, I pulled on the passing of my dog. And I was, It was horrible and wonderful, and you're such a beautiful actress. I just can't. It's a pleasure to do anything with you, really. You make me feel things I don't want to feel. I like it.
I feel like there were a bunch of there is the giant amazing scene that we are remembering and thinking of, but there are a lot of gems throughout, and I feel like a lot of what you said that you're a pretty observant person, and that's true, but also like you observe kind of like how Blake, I'm just using analogies from other characters, but kind of how Blake analyzes everyone's data and then come with a masterful piece. It's like you're doing the same thing, but through the craft of the art. Is you're seeing everybody's piece in the scene, and then you present everybody with this diamond that you've had, and just every line, every scene where the camera got to focus solely on Lore for a moment, was just masterfully done. So, and I'm honored to be sharing the screen with you.
One particular Lore moment that I liked. Again, I've written a whole bunch of stuff. I have something to say to you too, Katie. But one moment I really liked was when Dex said something like love is a certain way, or like smells weird, or I don't know, something. And your reaction was just like, you kind of went like, what? And then he went, what? And it was that first moment where you two had a maybe chemistry minute, and you played with that a little bit, and I really enjoyed how you did that. You do that. You have expressions all the time that are, a lot of players will just deliver lines, or they'll be in character, but they're not using all of themselves. You're using your body, you're using your face, you're responding to what people are saying physically. And I quite like that. You do that very, very, very well. Dan.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, it's tough because we both had a lot and had almost no scenes together as characters, because we were both no, you're terrible. No, you're terrible. For a large chunk of it, but it made it so interesting, because every time we had to we're forced to interact very early on, and then throughout, it was all of our pent up in character issues that we would be, because we were talking about each other behind each other's back the whole show to other people, yeah, don't trust that Lore, she's gonna mess you up, and then don't trust that Reckon, he's gonna dissect you, and then when we'd have to go at it, it was such, every time you could see our walls breaking down between each other when we realized our priorities are almost identical.
Yeah.
But we were so blinded by our own prejudices, we couldn't see. It's no, we're
and
basically
paranoia.
fighting.
You're both paranoid that you're going to be betrayed,
and we were fighting for pretty much the same thing, and we were also both fighting for Run, which neither of us wanted to accept. So I thought that was just really, it was really cool to be able to see the entirety of that going through the whole show, and I think you did an incredible job, just portraying that you're trying to protect people, and also letting me do the exact same thing, and I don't know, it showed really well.
Everyone thought you were both the BBEG at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, Reckon's the bad guy, and then it was like, no, I think he's okay, and then people kind of flipped it to Lore, because they were like, well, if he's not the bad guy, then is it her? Is she doing something here? And then that was really cool, that early kind of thing between you two, because I feel like in the late game, like KPP said, Blake was framed partially around what you were doing. I was like, she's being super idealism and emotional and in the moment and stuff. I was like, oh, so what's the antithesis to that? Because I guess that's literally what I'm representing. So it helped me to frame a lot of my thoughts when I saw you interacting with other people. In the early game, that Reckon Lore thing was so fucking fun, especially because I didn't know fuck all. I didn't know what you had planned. I didn't know if you knew stuff about each other or you didn't. So I was just sitting here one of them's evil. Who is it? Whose side? Are we splitting up to pick sides here and stuff? It was super cool.
These NPCs are yelling at each other. One of them has to be evil.
Yeah, one of them's got to be evil. And it's a weird thing. No one was evil.
No one.
Really. Hughes
Well, I
wasn't. It's
mean,
all the perspective.
yeah.
Only it was that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe people are evil anyway, but you know, it's a whole other philosophical conversation.
That's a different show.
On the next show. Yeah, exactly. Who's next? Did everybody? No. Did everyone go for lore? No, I mean, did everybody talk on lore?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
have not yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Zeke
sorry.
hasn't. Aha.
No. Well, like I said, you crushed it during the Adam goodbye thing. That was stellar. It was a sight to behold. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone blubber like during role playing, like just snot and tears and shit just rolling, and the perseverance to like push through that. But more so, I want to stress this: the vulnerability of doing something like that is so honorable. It's something that should be lauded. It's something that should be put on display and say, this is what happens. Moments like this happen when you allow yourself to be in a vulnerable state when you're role playing. And it's okay. Not only is it okay, it should be welcomed and encouraged. So, thank you, Katie, for not being afraid.
You're welcome.
Sorry, you're never Katie to me. You're Babe or whatever. Like,
Oh, wow.
she's Katie, you're Babe or Han or, you know, whatever.
I'm okay with that.
I don't take compliments well, so I appreciate it.
It's okay. I will spare you.
Me neither. I hate
Damn.
this.
Cover
We
the
all
can,
hate
that's what I
it. We
do.
all hate it. I don't know why I
I
thought this
don't.
was
I
a good
fucking
idea.
love it, man. I got over that shit a long time ago.
Still trying to black out what you guys said.
I need a
Now,
memrec.
Reckon.
Yeah, I know.
Can I go first? I have to go pee real quick.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
say
Yeah. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Give Dan anything and anything to play, and he'll play it, and he'll do it well.
Yes,
it don't matter.
God
if
damn
it's
it.
serious, if it's comedic, I want you to play a robotic dog. I want you to play a houseplant. Dan will do it, and he'll do it very well. It don't matter what you throw at the guy. He nails it every time, and he's down for anything. I mean, I think PB can definitely attest for this, and he's always up for the challenge.
Yep.
And he always nails it.
Yep.
I think Dan's made some very iconic characters because of just on a whim. Dan, can you do this? And Dan's like, sure. And now we got like one of the greatest detectives we've ever seen, like from Nocturne, and we're hoping to visit it again.
Yes.
Good old
So, yeah, it's
Those
just
two.
never underestimate Dan
Yeah.
of what he's gonna do next.
Or
The minute
Sid.
you give him an idea.
Sid
Any-
Artigo or
Yes.
God damn it! I love that character.
I love,
Yeah. Dan's so
just
good.
and very on the fly creativity.
Yep.
He's great with what's the word I'm looking for? It's just finding things in your surrounding, kind of like not folly work, but I know I'm late. So
God.
it's fine. It's just working with his surroundings and using props and stuff like that. Very improvisational skills are just fantastic.
Like
Space work.
this is not Gone.
Space
I'm
work,
so
thank you.
sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry to bring this up because it's not on Gone, but Nocturne. I will never forget this, Dan, because I was in the middle of GMing, so I didn't see this happen until I hosted the Ghost Grabbers episode on my channel, and I was able to sit and watch. But your picking up of the camera and shaking it as you ran, as it was a handy cam, you're like, "I'm coming," and you're like shaking your fucking Logitech, and I just died laughing. I almost pissed myself. I was like, I didn't see this the first time it happened because, like, what? God, it was so good. You guys are you're great. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yep. Reckon moment. Cord, let's start with you.
Okay, well, there are a lot of great Reckon moments. The entire arc of not just the character of Reckon, but the relationship arc of Reckon and Run is one of my favorites, obviously, because I was experiencing it. But just going from this like murky, confusing, what is the relationship here, to solidifying it, and then potentially it could have been an evil one, or no, it's not. It is actually it's just the what's the word? It is just the product of a loyal friend and like this undying loyalty, and also playing a character that is undying. It was super awesome to just see both of those reflect off of each other, and to see all of the layers to resonate within the character of Reckon, and your masterful portrayal of him was super cool to see, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
I already said mine because earlier I was confused, but you make me cry and I love you. It's a pleasure to actually get to be your friend in a game, and Dan and I have known each other for so freaking long. It's crazy how our lives just keep going through each other. So it's really cool that we still get to like work together and do fun stuff, even though you make me cry.
I know. I still got those lie hot dogs.
Oh my God. He'll survive the apocalypse.
Which is now.
I think my favorite moment is Run without eyes. I think.
Yeah,
Reckon
that was
without eyes,
insane.
Oh, God.
And then Run just like playing along.
That was so
That
good.
was-
Yep.
yeah, that was so good.
Mm.
The prop work was amazing.
Oh God, everybody's prop work in this show blew my mind. You guys, wasn't it you and Dan did the scarf trading?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking, I was just jaw dropped. That was beautiful.
It was so good.
So well done. So
There's
understated.
plenty of flasks passing. A lot
Yeah,
of
there was a
flasks
lot of
passing
that
back and
too.
Yes, a
Bug
lot of
passing,
flask passing.
forth. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
scarf.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
KPP, do you have one?
I just feel like I loved Mal, and I loved Mal. I know he was only there for a fleeting moment, but just I don't know. I've gotten the honor to like RP with you, and you've GM'd me, and I just gotten to play games with you, and I just feel like I don't know. There's something about Dan and I together that makes me feel safe, and that anything can happen, and that it's no matter what we do, it's gonna be okay because Dan's there. And I have some of my favorite memories from the past few years. Just, I don't know. I'll search a dresser with you anytime, Dan.
Aww.
In and out of game. So I don't know. You're just awesome. I don't know. I don't know.
I am being emotionally destroyed right now. Zeke, do you have a favorite Reckon moment?
The scientist episode.
You guys killed that episode. That was really difficult.
Dude, like wasn't it you that I asked to go get her?
Yeah. And no, I went off to get lunch. I was not even in that scene.
I thought you were getting
I was
could've
getting her
sworn
lunch, and you had, I think you sent the other guy, if I remember right. Well, that made it almost worse and
Yeah.
better at the same time,
Yeah.
is because I don't think I was involved with it.
He left to go get us lunch.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna have lunch together. I'm gonna cry again.
But you were my like subordinate, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You had me go get fuck a few times.
Okay.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
We're gonna talk about fuck next, right?
Yeah.
That's ironic considering what John's doing right now.
Yeah. Okay. That was the subtle joke.
Will?
What?
Let me
Hopefully.
explain it to you, right? So
Yeah,
basically,
tell us why it's
John's
funny.
in a 2-hour marathon.
No, that whole episode that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I mean, to echo what KPP said, there's a few people that I would do whatever scene with, and you're definitely one of those people that the give and take. Oh my God, I just remember the was it? Oh God, it was a one shot. I don't know if it was Nocturne or Gone. I don't remember, but we were doing similar characters but different.
That was the D&D episode.
Yeah,
We were
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shit. We were both like, I think we were both gay,
Yes.
and we didn't tell each other that beforehand.
Right.
But he comes in and we start talking. I'm like, wait a minute, are we both gay? But the play that we had with each other was so like, no pun intended, but was so good. The banter was so goddamn good. That's my favorite, for sure. 100% my favorite moment. Just like noticing that like we wore the same shirt, but we wear it differently because our body types, like I got bigger, titties and stuff, and you like are slim. Like that's what I love. That was awesome. Anyway.
No passing in that episode we did in Roll20 made me very happy.
That's right.
Oh my God, the no passing.
That's right. We played so good together. Oh my God, yes. Man, that was great.
Who's next? Yeah.
Is it Pumpkinberry's turn?
No, God, no, please. I can't handle it. And also, I don't think we're done with Reckon. Did everybody have a moment? No?
I did.
Okay.
Hello?
We did, right? Okay. Brad, do you want to give me that thing and I'll play it?
Okay.
What
Do you
thing?
need it now?
I'll need it. in a
Okay.
second.
Yeah, because I think you're next, and then I will wrap up. Because I have some stuff to say, and then just final things to take us out, and then.
But
will.
PB first. PB,
No, please,
you
please.
are,
I cannot handle it. I cannot handle it. I won't
was
be able to get
the-
through the rest of this.
Right,
Redhead.
but
But what the chat wants that.
yeah, right.
Here's what I'll tell you what. I'll read what I
Yes.
was gonna read,
Yes.
and then
Okay.
and then we'll all go after PB.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
You want me to
Give me
do
a
that
sec.
now?
give me a second,
Okay.
because this is not easy for me to do. Okay. And I worked pretty hard on something. Hold on. Oh fuck.
This
PB.
is times where you
Yes.
wonder, is Brad gonna make a big joke or is it gonna be crazy
Fucking
serious?
I was just gonna say that. It's like, is he gonna like show us something like he just wrote in crayon or something? Like,
Yeah, like, are we gonna
I
get our
worked so
hearts
hard on
punched
this.
or are we gonna get throat punched? It's really a
Here's what it is. PB, I've made a terrible mistake.
It's going. You guys can't hear it, but stream can. Go on.
It's just that I've brought my roast notes instead of my thank you notes, and
just
I need.
listen to that,
let's see here. Okay, so now the circle jerk is over, so let's take aim. Okay, I had to fucking play a serious character this whole time. Okay, I'm not doing it anymore. Let's take aim. First of all, I'm going to start with the people who aren't here and couldn't be bothered to commit to the show as much as the rest of us. All right? So, let's see. John Sandman played a failed musician who was addicted to drugs, which was probably really hard for him to roleplay since he's never been addicted to drugs.
Wow.
All right. Elspeth is a professional voice actor, and after watching her for 33 weeks, now we know why. Okay. All
fucking
right.
laugh track. Are you kidding me?
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. So I got more. All right. So let's see who's next. KPP joined us as a histrionic, overly emotional woman whose technology is failing around her, and she played a character called Law.
It's not inaccurate.
All right. Okay. It's okay. I got more. Classy Katie played a character that is 50% fish, which is totally different from Katie in real life, who is 100% annoying. Okay, no, moving on. All right, next one. Mythomatic played a forgetful character.
Wow, that's next level shit right there, dude. Good job.
Wow.
No? All right, not that one. All right, next one. Reckon chose to leave the group and stay behind at the end, which we're all really hoping PB does with Dan for our next show. All right. Zeke played a character with multiple personalities. Each one had their own set of interesting and redeeming qualities, which is a true testament to his role-playing ability. All right, next. Okay. I'm told Classy Pax was in an episode at one point. No? All right. Pumpkinberry. I've never seen a cast carry a show so hard that the GM was actively removed from play. And the last thing I'd like to say is that the story mirroring real life was incredible in that this entire thing was one big mistake. All right. Okay. All right.
Beautifully done.
All right.
Beautifully done.
Okay, you can cut the music. All right.
Okay, I did. That was
Can I
good.
say one serious thing?
Yes.
Can I cover my cam for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you so much. I can't be seen.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
Do whatever
Okay.
you want.
Listen, I had to spend the entire campaign being serious, so thank you for letting me have that. I do want to say though that I consider all of you to be fantastic role players and peers, and I genuinely consider myself to be like the least skilled role player here, and you all inspire me to bring my best because I don't want to let anybody down. And I know you all think I did a really good job as Blake, but I feel like you can thank yourselves and you can thank this entire cast chat for motivating me to raise myself up to your level. Because I just look around me and I just see all of these talented people and I just feel like I shouldn't be here. I said no at the beginning because PB was like, be in this with all these people. And I was like, I cannot share a screen with these people. They're so good. I can't do the things that they do. I can't go to the levels that you guys can get to, either in skill or like the way that CK is able to weaponize the emotions that she feels, and the way that KPP can do it, the way that you guys are just unbelievably good at this is insane to me. And I feel like what you did was you inspired me and you motivated me to really bring my best and try my best. And that's kind of hard for me to do. I don't like doing that. I'm not a very passionate person. I'm scared to do it. And the fact that you guys can draw that out of me, and the fact that you think that I did a good job, I feel like I owe you thanks for it, really. I've loved the entire show. I've loved watching it. And I've loved being in the scenes with you. And that includes PB, who continues to be the most unique GM I have ever had the pleasure of witnessing, and now had the pleasure of playing it in her campaign. And PB, I'm so proud of you and this campaign. As she has this like special X factor that she applies to these shows, and it's just no one can replicate it. Whatever she does will be the only thing you'll ever see like it. I can't wait to see what you do next. I know that everyone here is going to be in it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody does. And it's one of the best casts I've ever seen. Chemistry and synergy and teamwork was just unreal. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I'm so grateful to have met everybody here and to have been able to role play alongside you. And you've inspired me and you've made me feel like a better person. And I try. And that's special to me. So even if you use a memrec, I'm not going to forget it. I'll never forget it. So thank you so much for like letting me be me. And I appreciate you all.
I have
Thank
to
you, Brad.
follow that. Thank you, Bradley.
Wait,
What?
I also have something.
Oh, okay.
Because
Go ahead.
I was talking a lot about characters this whole time, but I really, this entire time, every episode, especially towards the end of it all, I was feeling super, and of course in the beginning as well. I mean, the first episode of having to be on with all these amazing people and to not be, and to never really interact or role play with a good chunk of these people before, and some of these greats, has been just, it's been just nothing but an entire like feeling of just like I feel like a mouse amongst giants when I'm here and role playing with all of you. I've been really quiet and shy throughout this whole thing, and that's because I've just been sucked in imposter syndrome. And just as time goes on, and as we've been growing to play with each other and learn more about each other and I guess expose. I guess that's not really a great frame of context here, but when we expose the raw parts of ourselves to one another in telling story, the greatest way of the greatest social dialogue that ever can be, and one that I am very passionate about. Just means so much to me that I was able to do and to play in the medium that I love, and to learn from all of you and to learn who you all are and to call you all friends of mine. And it's taking a lot for me to just get through this, but you all mean so much to me. And you are all inspirations, all an inspiration to me. And when it comes to my channel and production and to professionalism and everything like that, and it really does mean a lot to just be here. So thank you all for everything. I truly mean that.
And now say something nice about PB.
No, I'm going now. I'm gonna say my thing now, or I won't be able to make it out of here. Okay, so just a couple of things I have to tell you guys before we wrap up today. First thing is Jesus, the
different meeting, BB.
The creator of Nibiru is putting a creature in the new supplement with thanks to the Table Story community. And it is, I'm going to share just a little bit of the blurb with you guys. It's a bacteria-like organism that saps memories. Like a lot of Nibiru life forms, its name and shape resembles something like an earthborn species. So I'm going with forget-me-nots. It's a flowery growth that will grow along the spine, and it normally wouldn't affect humans, but given the condition of the vagabond mind, it's easy to affect player characters. So the forget-me-nots will be in the next supplement with a dedication to the show and Table Story, and I think that's amazing, and that was created by the community. We got together and we did that. Second thing is Peachy's second album that you guys have been begging for the music dropped today. You can find it on Spotify and Apple, all those things. The next thing I wanted to mention was the community got together and shared some of their own personal memories after the Dex Ollied episode, and I was so touched by that. We weren't able to put them each individually into the show, but I would like to let you know I will be narrating those individual memories and releasing them as a special thing after Gone is over. So thank you for those. Thank you everyone for loving this show. Thank you for every theory, fan art, fan music, and every time you shared our show. For Trivian Seagull, thank you for the amazing Octahedron music box gift for the cast. Ricardo, whose remixes ended up being a break staple, thank you so much. Lucifer and Murgles for the art in the show, and Murgles, my bestie, for writing that beautiful intro dialogue that I used in the trailer, and I gave her a very weird prompt and she just ran with it and it was amazing. And for both forgiving me for at times asking her opinion and at other times refusing to spoil her. So Peachy, who did so much more than make music for this show. Thank you for all the little details, for putting up with my crazy metaphor and hidden tidbits I wanted to put in the show. Thank you for the last minute sound engineering. Thank you for your part in making this show beautiful. Zeke. When Zeke and I talked about Maury's departure, it was an hour-long conversation about philosophy. We barely even spoke about the show, and the moment he departed on the show was actually impromptu. We weren't really expecting it for another week or two. But when it happened, it was perfect. Your commitment and understanding to me and my direction in an unspoken way has helped me in ways I cannot put into words. It is an honor to GM for you. Pax. Very few people have the ability to make a character so memorable within the first 5 minutes of meeting them. I said this already, but I still share the opening of episode 5 to nearly everyone who comes into my chat. Thank you for giving me 110% of yourself during your short time with us. CK, there's a level of energy that you always bring to your characters, a beast mode, if you would. You're unafraid to go to dark places and moments, but you always do it with such grace and, dare I say, class. I know I can count on you to go to those dark places. Myth. I fell in love with Run. What started as maybe a simple classic villain quickly became a tragic hero, and your betrayal made him so human. He really spoke to me in a lot of ways that I wasn't expecting, and you were a role player on my Dream to GM 4 bucket list. So thank you for the courage and the nuance that you brought to Run. All right. Dan, our very first show together, you surprised me by turning my character, who was a robot, into a fleshy human. It made her arc take a new direction, one I couldn't have planned for and was incredibly grateful for. Midway through the show, I realized I might be able to do the same thing for you. You played a very difficult character in this show, and I admire the hell out of you, and I'm honored to have you at my table. KPP, you never give less than your best for the show. I've watched you grow through Nocturne and now Gone, and it's been a pleasure. You give yourself and your vulnerability to every scene you're in, and you go above and beyond to lift up the other players in the room. When the light is on you, you steal the show. I admire your RP skills so much, I begged Brad multiple times to put me on Dying Order just for a chance to play with you. Jesus Christ! Bradley. You said no to me no less than 3 times to be on this show. Thank you for finally saying yes. Your dedication and commitment to your characters is unlike anyone else. You know them in and out, in ways very few do, and you're one of the best role players I know. You handle Blake and my show with such care and love. You're one of my best friends, and it was an honor to GM for you. Speth, I know these two aren't here, but I gotta do it. Speth is another one of my bucket list players. Her moment, your revelation as both Speth and Autumn will remain in my heart for the rest of my life. When I wrote the show, I said, oh man, it would be cool if, but then I said, that probably won't happen, but you did it. Your soft and tender Autumn is someone I admire, as are you. John, I knew I wanted to GM for you when you were in Darkfire, but you blew me away during Gone. I think I speak for the entire audience when I say that we all felt what Dex felt. Your authentic and vulnerable portrayal of him brought so much to this show, and I'm so grateful that you said yes. And to each and every one of you, I set out to do something incredibly ambitious, and it wouldn't have been possible without each of you. I'm very proud of what we've done here, and I don't think it's too bold to say we helped some people with this show. This show will forever be a golden artifact for me. It is an honor to GM for you, but I hope you all know it is my dream to one day play alongside you. That's it. And I think we should probably wrap up now.
We all just unanimously agree that PB is a god. And I would skip a family member's funeral if anyone was alive to RP with her. Like,
my only thing is, my hard and fast rule is if PB asks me to RP something, I say yes.
Yep.
Yep.
But I love when PB hits me up with, oh, do you have time for this? And I'm like, bitch.
Let me just clear my desk.
Let me just make time. Hold
Yeah.
on. Throws Poodle out the window. Ready.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's
Sorry, I couldn't look at you while I was reading that, but I probably would have had a total meltdown. But I just thank you guys for bringing 110% and just being amazing. And my cat is meowing because he thinks I'm having a fucking heart attack.
Well,
Shall we?
just think, PB.
Yeah.
You know how those you were talking about your bucket list and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After these 2 shows that you've done, I bet you're on a lot of people's bucket list.
oh my god. Round of applause for PB before we leave and being an amazing
Thanks,
just everything.
friends. Thank you for watching Gone. And I'll be back next week with Peachy for music and GM roundtable bit. Okay. I love you all very, very, very much. I'm going to take us out now with the end screen because I have nothing else to do, so I'm doing it. Bye.